What is going on, everybody? Antonio is the gamer here with my two co-hosts, Mikkel Smith and Super SSS Rank. We're back with another episode of the Press Start Select podcast.
What's
Now,
going on?
from the last time we left y'all, there was a lot of things happening, especially in the anime world, and more things continue to happen in the anime world. Sometimes, again, I try to chalk it up to us, like, being on break, but it's not even that. It's just, this is just what it is. Like, if it's not the games, it's the anime. If it's not the anime, it's the games. It's like there's no just
In between, we can't.
in
We can
between.
never have a grace period.
Yeah, like I'm like, oh, maybe one of these days we'll get to like just one real topic, and that's like really just double down on that. It's like, no. Who was I kidding? So, with that being said, I guess yeah, we can just get right into the topics. There was a couple like small things I was like, oh, let's talk about it, but let's just get right into the gaming big news. One of the first topics we had lined up on the docket for tonight is that Assassin's Creed Shadows has physical copies out in the wild. There's people doing illegal streams to show the gameplay. It's on all the little forums. The running theory is that people are thinking that because it was supposed to have been launching this week, that maybe all of the distributors weren't notified across the world to not open their physical copies, and they send it to the warehouse to fill the order. And of course, people get curious. The don't open box is the first thing they open, and all of a sudden, Assassin's Creed Shadows is in the streets. Now, I feel like this is just like that final nail in the coffin for this game to a certain degree. As far as like, I don't know, because even though yes, it's gonna get a day one patch, yes, I'm sure there's a lot of things that are gonna kind of get adjusted or tweaked once the game releases proper. Having this happen almost 2 weeks ahead of the release date kind of makes it feel like, can this game succeed now?
I mean, I believe it can. I mean, this stuff has happened before. I mean, especially in our early GameStop, like Pinnacle eras, like this thing has happened before. It's just, I feel like it's kind of very reckless for streamers to do something like that because you already know that when you put that stuff in your system, it's basically sending out alerts like, oh, hold on, like decoding, like, how did you get this? What's
Yup.
going on? And it's like, and I mean, especially if streaming is your bread and butter, why would you risk something like that? And even posting it online, via YouTube, like I said, there's a lot of tracking stuff out there now.
Right.
Why would you risk
that VPN? Not gonna save you.
yeah, like why would you risk that? And just for what? Just for like probably like a day of fame?
Right.
I
I'm gonna
don't
get the
think
short term streams over the long term.
I don't think it's worth it. I really don't think it's worth it. I mean, I do feel like, I mean, overall, I feel like Assassin's Creed has hit a very lukewarm point. Like there are loyalists who love it for every iteration that comes around, and they'll play it just out of brand loyalty.
Mhm.
But I do feel like, yes, they might have hit just a pinnacle point. Jory has said it himself, like they have wash, rinse, and repeat this same cycle of formula for so long with some minor tweaks that is like, does it even feel like a new game after all? Like, yes, there's a lot of story context that a lot of people were looking forward to with this one, but we all know that's been bait before. Like, I said it myself, like, bro, like, I'm glad, I took the easy way out and just watched Far Cry, the last Far Cry, the movie, through the cutscenes. Like, found out that Giancarlo was just basically a glorified cameo. I was like, bro, he's the main villain. And he's just a glorified cameo. So I was like, bro, you bamboozle people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, he's just there. But not to like the fullest extent as you would think. So I mean, we'll see in the coming times, bro. We'll see it. I mean, this is one of the things of the gaming industry that goes out like that. At the end of the day, we'll see over time.
Yeah, I mean, you're right that it's not uncommon, right? You're absolutely. I mean, even Marvel Spider-Man 2, I remember, finding certain discords that had a couple of spoiler pictures and leaks ahead, but we're talking about a few days ahead of time, right? Not 2 weeks ahead of time. And I think the only reason why I'm saying like it's a potential nail in the coffin is simply because this game has had such a troubled journey to this point. It just feels like, y'all have just, it's unfortunate, like I'm like the game not even really out yet to really be judged off its merits, and it's just like it's been controversy after controversy after controversy.
But honestly, bro, I feel like that's becoming. I mean, as we've been seeing, that's almost like I said, that's becoming the COVID of the industry now.
Mm,
So many things are getting hit left and right because there's a lot of stuff going on, bro. A lot of stuff on the economical side, and even yes, people think America is so great. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on, man, and it's really impacting the level of quality, deadlines, and just so many other things with these properties.
mm.
Like, it's not just a simple. Oh, and then that kind of goes back to my statement earlier. I do feel like for a while we should focus on AA games for a while to really, like, a sense, like, beef up on options, because people have been saying for a while, like, with these systems we want more options. But I do feel like the AAA format has just taken such a hit that I feel like everybody needs to, like, just slow down for a bit, regroup, and how do we address this type of level of quality for the future?
Mm.
Because it's proven it, man. It's like they're succumbing to the weight.
Yeah, it's in more ways than one across the board with a lot of different publishers. S. Frank, what do you think about the whole Assassin's Creed Shadows leak? Any concerns? I mean, because again, the pre-orders are like on par with Valhalla, so it's not like the game, despite the loud internet, it's not really like that. A lot of that has translated into people's interest in the game. Let me say.
I think to be honest with you, it's gonna be so bad. It's good. As far as the publicity,
Mm.
um, I don't know if it's timing. I don't know if it's the subject matter. I mean, one contributes to the other. I think it's gonna be at a very. I don't think it's gonna sell as much as they're hoping it sells.
As much as
If
they
it's
would
on
need
par,
it to sell,
as
honestly.
much as they would need it to sell, yeah, I don't really think so. We'll see, man. Because for me, the actual gameplay doesn't look bad from what I'm seeing.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
I
It's
just
gonna
know
get some
everybody.
unfair comparisons, but I agree with you. Like, I don't think it's. I think it's almost getting critiqued more because of everything that's happened. Like, it
Yeah,
looks.
it's gonna get critiqued more. I mean, you have a black man running around Tokyo. But I mean, if he works for Nobunaga, what's the controversy there? You know what I'm saying? So he's a soldier.
In this fictional story. Go on, go on, go on, go on.
He's a soldier. Yeah, like he's a soldier, and I was like, it's just gonna get it's gonna continue to get the flack it's getting. I don't think it's gonna be at a good place. If they already had the pre-orders, hopefully those pre-orders are real pre-orders.
Mm.
Um, you know, people, man, I've never felt a unanimous spirit bomb being developed or revenge death ball being developed for a game ever.
But
You feel me?
but do you feel like it's
Uh,
based off the game or kind of like what Tim was saying with Ubisoft, of like they've kind of built up this bad will towards themselves with all their practices over the past couple of years? I think
that's true.
Assassin's Creed Shadows is almost like the scapegoat. It's the
It's
redheaded
the scape.
stepchild, quote unquote, of
It's,
like
it's the scape. Okay, yeah, it's that, and we already asked for the. You should have already did it before Ghost of Tsushima,
that part.
and now if you're not willing to do anything on the scope of Ghost of Tsushima, to be honest with you, Valhalla should have been the Valhalla Tsushima before this one to show that hey, we're gonna give you what you guys want,
Yep.
and Valhalla didn't come across like that at all. It came across very generic, very stale, very boring. If I'm in all honesty,
Felt
it
like
wasn't that
content.
interesting. It felt like just content, yeah. And I don't think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna suffer. I think Ubisoft is at a point to where there's not. It's this is just. It's gonna be only a matter of time. It's just like you couldn't run with your failures. Where did that leave you? Back to me. So that's where that's at, man. We're gonna see people pack their things in a cardboard box, and Ubisoft is officially being sold now. That's it. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, of course,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised either. I think it's like there is that level of empathy for the workers that make it up, because again, it's like I don't ever think that there's, from my, at least from what I can, my impression, that they want to make a bad game. But when you have these, publishers whose hand is so far in the pot that you can't even put the recipe together, it's just like, yo, sorry, hop on LinkedIn from now, my guy. It's not looking
Listen,
good.
I mean, it's like Spider-Man dodging the Green Goblin's. Um, I don't know what he calls them, his pumpkin seed or whatever.
Pumpkin
Pumpkin bombs.
Huh?
Disrespectful.
I don't
It's a
even know what
pumpkin
those
shaped
weapons.
bomb called a pumpkin bomb.
Yeah, a pumpkin bomb. That's what it's called. I don't know, man.
And
What's his
not
weapons
even that. No,
called?
that's the hobgoblin that uses pumpkin bombs.
No, but they're orange. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know. They never gave a name to those things. His weapons, his little gadgetry, his miniature, his what's that movie called? The Phantasm balls, wherever he throws them in Spider-Man dodging them.
Hmm.
Yeah, like if Ubisoft is not gonna do that when they weigh like 60 pounds over, so it's over, man. I'm just counting down until the day they say, hey, wrap it up.
Hmm.
Honestly, because how are they gonna come back? They don't even have money to make the games they want to make. That's what it's looking like, personally. So
Yeah. Go
Yeah,
ahead, sir.
that's true. Because I felt that what was that series where they were using like technology with the phone? That
Watch
kind of
Dogs.
just that fell flat after a while.
Yep.
what again?
Watch
Watch
Dogs.
Dogs. Yeah, that fell flat. Tom Clancy is in a very weird limbo of just stagnant because, I mean, yes, they did good with Siege because, I guess that was their biggest live service hit. But your other properties just kind of went left, like Ghost Recon. They were doing too much with Ghost Recon at a point, and it just fizzled out. Like,
Ghost Recon felt like a show on CBS 4. Ghost Recon just felt like I'm looking at the narrative. I'm like, okay, so we're gonna get some NCIS characters coming on. We're gonna get the Corky Lab, Gothic Girl, the veteran old man who's just too cool to lose. Um, yeah,
It's
man.
feeling like Ubisoft is going to be. I mean, I'm speaking about them in past tense already, but it's the impression again that I'm getting is that they're going to be a cautionary tale on why you should never get too comfortable in anything.
mhm.
Of like, if you squeeze that blanket enough, eventually you will wring out all the possible like things that they can produce, all the prosperity out of it. You've wrung that rag too tight at this
I
point.
feel like AI has been running Ubisoft for the past 10 years. Just regular AI giving you that generic copy and paste. Hey,
I can see that.
type in ChatGPT. Yeah, that's what it feels like.
No, I can
Because
see that.
nothing feels alive,
Inspired.
man.
Yeah, none of it feels
Inspired.
inspired. Yeah,
Play
I can see
Assassin's
that.
Creed 1 and play 2 and play 3 and 4 and stop there. And
Not
then tell
even. I
me
stopped at the
how
Brotherhood.
do you feel? I mean, I stopped at Brotherhood as
Yeah.
well. I mean, I to me, 1 and 2, I love 1 personally. I have
Mm,
an attachment to 1. I like Altair more than I do Ezio.
that's fine.
I like that super sarcastic Middle Eastern humor and stoicism. It's just different. It comes across different. It feels like I'm there. They always speak in parable. Like I love it.
Mm,
And with what I see, how there's no care behind it, man. Hey, we're gonna do Assassin's Creed. It's like cleaning. It's like washing the bathroom, doing the bathroom. You
yeah,
just make sure the
just
bathroom's
routine.
clean. That's
Yeah,
it. Just
we're
routine.
gonna drop Assassin's Creed Mobile. We're gonna drop Assassin's Creed Mirage to take it quote unquote back to the basics.
Back
But
to use your Fabuloso, your Ajax. You know, get your generic green mesh scrubber. Right, that green mesh scrubber. Get the
yep,
yellow rubber ones. Don't get the scrap. Just get the standard yellow Dexter's Lab mom color gloves.
yeah.
Make sure it's a
And then here comes the team that made Prince of Persia with the Scrub and Bubbles Mr. Clean crossover pitch, and they're like,
oh, no, 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 no,
no, no,
no,
no,
no.
no, no,
That's too
no.
much. That's too much. We're not trying to clean the bathroom faster.
Yeah.
We're gonna scrub it down.
or change the way it gets cleaned. We're just gonna
No. No, we not getting inspired at all. Just straight bricks. If we gotta wash the tub with bricks, we doing that to get that stain off. Let's do it. That's what we're gonna do. Because for me, man, I can't even say amazed. It's just like I'm waiting for this to be over. Like, okay, just wrap it
Yeah.
up, guys. Sell the company at this point.
That's
Just
why I
sell
said
it.
nail in coffin, chickens coming home to the roost, whatever the old school metaphor comparison you want to use. I'm just like, Shadows might probably won't even deserve it. It's probably gonna be one of the more breath of fresh air Assassin's Creed we had in a while, and it won't matter because you guys have you've dug yourself so deep. There's no way to climb out at this point. You dropped NFT games that nobody bought. You know, it's just like
NFTs, they're all the rage now. All the kids are getting them. Cigar in mouth, light up cigar, kick back in chair,
right.
feet on the table.
Nothing like a one of one PNG that belongs on the internet.
I mean, it goes back to what I said. We'll see in time. I mean, because what really generates some hype for the game is, of course, there's people who want to see the full-fledged cutscene movie to see where did this story go, and of course, like gameplay comparisons. Because remember a couple of parts back, a lot of people was going to say like, they're going to do the Ghost of Tsushima comparisons.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, even though Ghost of Yote isn't out, but the last iteration with the PS4 graphics, PS5 Pro enhanced, a lot of people are going to do the comparisons of gameplay. So I do feel like it's going to generate some form of media. But then at the end of the day, is man, what are these companies going to do moving forward? Yes, you're going to make some dollars off it, yes, but let's see where it goes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, other perplexing publisher decisions to discuss, and I'm not even talking. I don't even think we're coming at Ubisoft with any kind of level of hate. It's just like, fam, at some point you did it to yourself, right? It's like we all had that one homeboy like back in high school where like he just kind of kept making slightly worse and worse decisions, and then like you find out one day he got locked up, and you're kind of like, well, I don't, like what else. I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised. Like I think that's just kind of where I'm at with Ubisoft. I'm like, I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised. The pathway to how we got here is clear. And speaking of pathways of things that got to where they're at now, we had to put in the big news because S Rank wanted to nominate for Back to Formula. I'm like, nah, we already hit them with the triple team finisher last week. It's not our fault they keep coming back for more. Right? It's like
there's nothing wrong with the Red Kamehameha Super Saiyan 4 being done. There's nothing wrong with the Red Kamehameha.
Well, I mean, it's a game and big news topic, so now you can really get your bars off. But for those who don't know, Warner Brothers Games are back at it again, and we finally can put a name on the bullet. A lot of the decisions over the past 10 to 15 years were greenlit by a man named David Haddad. It wasn't David Zaslav, although I mean, if you look at the way the movies are being handled, I'm like, different David, same mindset.
He hired himself.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's one of those things where I'm like, this doesn't necessarily put you off the hook, but you might be off the hook for this. But anyway, the TLDR is Warner Brothers Games were, as we mentioned last week, very risk adverse when it came to their IPs. If it wasn't something that they thought was going to potentially print money, they had no interest in it. And the things that they did have that printed money, they had no interest in fully supporting it financially. So hence you get your multiverses where it's doing amazing in beta and then they pull it off and pump it full of microtransactions and throw it out there and watch it die. Then you take a single player focused game studio who has great combat systems, great narrative. You tell them we want a looter shooter. It's just because again, you're trend chasing with your legacy IP. It doesn't get more rock solid than when it comes to the Justice League. And you're like, nope, I'm thinking Suicide Squad. So essentially, we found out this week that Monolith Studios, they've created plenty of games, but the most recent games that come to mind would be the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War series. Shadow of War having come out in 2017, which means we haven't got a game from them in almost 8 years. And now we won't. because WB Games has closed them down for good. The Wonder
Not to
Woman
mention,
game is officially canceled. But
the time machine that the patent is locked in, so you'll never get anything closely remote to the system ever again.
oh no,
36 years.
you will when Hogwarts Legacy 2 doesn't sell 10 trillion copies out the gate, and Warner Brothers labels it as a disappointment, and now they got to liquidate some of their IP and patents. You'll see them system again. Don't you worry. It's not a matter of if. It's a when.
Man.
And then you turn around and you close the studio that made Multiverses, the studio that you bought last July, mind you, for the purpose of making Multiverses. You shut the game down and then close the studio down, and then you close down Warner Brothers Games San Diego, from what I could see and from what I looked up, they're more of a support studio and they worked on mobile games. So 3 studios closed in a week. A legacy studio. Granted, now a lot of the creatives, a lot of the head creatives in Monolith have moved on already. Monolith was, from what I understand, more or less the same in name only when it came to the people who were in charge of Shadow of War. So with that being said, what do you guys? Tim had posed a question in the chat. What do you guys think about this, one? And then two, and to Tim's point, is there anything that Warner Brothers Games can do to start to undo some of this damage that makes them look like they're headed the Ubisoft way?
Well, to be honest, bro, damage control, when you look at companies, especially how long these games take to play, bro, it would take them a max like 5 years. 5 years to undo the damage that they've done. Because when you really look at it, all right, put it this. You said, all right, you're only going to focus on 4 titles moving forward. It's okay, I guess. All right, you left a huge stain in the Batman crew's mouth due to Suicide Squad. So whatever this next Batman game, which we already have speculations what it's about, it needs to be absolutely phenomenal and amazing. And of course, already know another Harry Potter is coming, especially with the announcement of the show for the only thing that's working for them. Oh, Max. So you already know Hogwarts Legacy 2 is about to get every last single dollar it needs to be pushed forward.
Yeah.
Everything. Oh, no. Oh, we're sorry about what happened with Quidditch. No, it's there day one. Enjoy. It's to be honest, man, different management is needed, man, because all of this is pointless if you have the same mindset behind it.
I agree.
Like, I do feel like whoever the stakeholders are, they really need to look at it as like, all right, what are you doing with this company? What are you doing? And even in terms of like, other parts of like, a lot of people have been asking for a while, bro, like, we don't want another Mortal Kombat, bro. After what happened with this last one, a lot of people was like, yo, like, this is a perfect chance to give Injustice another chance.
I mean, no objections on this side.
It's like, bro, like, no, like, honestly, man, like, Mortal Kombat just really just went, ugh. Oh, like, and it's so quick, like, because I'm kind of like, even when I saw the Evo lineup, I was like, why are you here?
I mean, it's still a big name.
Why are you here? I'm like, yes, you got pretty graphics, you got pretty stages, but why are you here?
Yeah. Even with the release of the T1000 teaser, where like he is Glacius, he's Mortal Kombat's Glacius. I'm like, man, I wish I could be hyped, but I'm not, because everything else that led up to this point has like sucked the joy out. Like, I can't bring myself to get hyped.
And then in typical Mortal Kombat fashion, like, especially how things are going on with the other titles, you could already tell like this is probably the last DLC.
Which would, given everything that's happened, would be a mistake. I think like since we're talking about in terms of how do you fix this, I think you have to greenlight that combat pack. Part 3. You have to at this point. You've failed on such a unprecedented level over the past 3 to 4 years. You need a W. And again, Mortal Kombat 1 it didn't sell as much as 11, but it sold like 5 million copies. It's outsold Tekken, it's outsold Street Fighter. So it's not like it didn't sell. It's just not continuing to sell because of, like you said, Tim, the management has been questionable at best, is what I'll say. Trying to be a little bit more positive tonight. But as Frank, what do you think? How do we save Warner Brothers Games if it's even possible?
Oh, I think it's too late. You let some of your most powerful IPs now have absolutely no power at
Mhm.
all. You built up this number one, you you milked the Batman franchise into the ground,
Mhm.
which was built up by a very powerful studio.
Mhm.
Then from there, okay, you release Gotham Knights. Disaster. Disaster. At that time of releasing Gotham Knights, there was controversy with Shadow of War on War,
Mhm.
microtransactions and people having to do crazy amounts of hours to unlock an ending that they
Was
didn't
that?
feel was even justified.
Mhm.
Okay. So now that taste is bleeding into the purchase of going a couple of years, another Bruce Wayne game, okay, another Origin game, yada yada. Then you released, I believe there was like a first-person shooter multiplayer with the
Warner
Joker.
Brothers games.
Yeah, they added a multiplayer component to Origins, and it was like Batman and Robin versus the Jokers and the Banes. I was like, bro, what is this?
Okay.
I don't even remember this.
Yeah,
It was
it's
bad,
there.
bro. It was bad.
Now,
Like,
um, Batman Gotham City, did I get it right?
The
I'm not
VR game.
Ar-
tripping.
Arkham's
Arkham City. No, no. There's
Nah, your
Arkham.
timeline's
Arkham,
askew, bro.
Arkham
So
No, no,
Asylum,
no.
it was Arkham
Arkham
City,
Asylum.
then it was
Arkham
Arkham
City.
Origins, and then it was
yes,
Arkham Knight.
right. But then
But
you
it
just
was
mentioned
No.
Gotham
also
Knights. Gotham Knights was after all four of these.
What's the third? No, no. I mean Gotham Knights. I'm talking about what's the third Batman game where you fight Jason Todd?
Arkham Knight.
that's
Arkham Knight.
actually the fourth one.
The
Yeah,
fourth one. Arkham
technically.
Origins came out before Batman.
Yeah, before Arkham Knight.
Okay. So with Arkham Knight, you didn't even have a villain or boss battles. You just had you use Metal Gear Solid Bruce Wayne, you know?
It was
So
it's not a
that's
car,
not
it's a
my
tank.
favorite. That's not my favorite Batman. I'm be honest with you. It's not my favorite of the Batman games. Um
I've come to appreciate it over the years. Like I think outside of like to your point, the Batmobile thing definitely is overstays its welcome. But if
Yeah,
you look back at the combat system, it's
oh no,
it's
I actually don't hate the Batmobile.
pristine
To
in
be
that
honest
game.
with you. Yeah, no, no. Listen, it's just not my favorite because like, yo, where's the enemies? This is the bread and butter of Batman, the
Mm.
villains.
Hmm.
You know, I don't care about this guy who's wearing, you know what I'm saying? This military, like, I didn't ask to fight Solid Snake.
Right.
You know what I'm
I don't care
saying?
about this person who was obviously Jason Todd that we all figured out in the first 5 seconds. Mid game
Why don't you just
twist.
make him Red Hood, right?
Oh
Only for
wow.
him to only for him to return with powers and a double jump
Hmm.
from the last
apparently
one.
that's not the same universe.
Oh yeah. Right. But remember now so okay. I'm gonna let S
Wait,
Rank finish and then
so now you
bring
go
something
in,
up.
you keep going. Let's years pass by. We get a game called Suicide Squad. In concept, you hear about it, okay. So when you find out, I was like, okay, this game's gonna be fun. But then when I found out what it is, I said, wait, it's a third-person shooter? Who are they going up against? The Justice League? Wait. When I say Justice League, I don't say just justice. I say just us. Because
Yeah.
that's the energy them boys have.
Hmm.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do to a man that can run into another dimension at will?
And he's one of the weaker ones.
What do you do to a man that decides to think and atoms appear in the form of a green tint because he decides to? Mind you, he flies in space at Mach speed, meeting aliens across the globe. You think your weapons? What are you gonna do against a woman born
From God lineage.
From God lineage, with metals and precious stones that you haven't even seen, garmented, given to her by Zeus and forged by people that I only know about their name because of God of War.
Yeah. I'm not gonna hold you. When they said it was Suicide Squad versus Justice League, I'm like, oh, so Suicide Squad versus Booster Gold, maybe Hot Girl, someone where they might have a chance. Nope, Justice League Prime.
What are you gonna do against a master human kid? That's what Batman is.
He's
The
a
master
super
human.
human.
The master human. So you have these characters, and then let's not forget the Kryptonian.
Hey, but Jory, all I got is my boomerang and a bullet. That's all I need. What you mean?
And the team, hey, if the Suicide Squad was Black Adam, Reverse Flash, ooh.
Speaking of, where were they in this game? Right? Wouldn't that make more sense? Like, okay, we have these regular power guys, but at some point, Black Adam shows up to give them a fighting chance against Superman. At some point, Reverse Flash shows up to disable the Flash.
Why are there so many Batman villains in Metropolis? Once I saw the Riddler trophies pop up, I was like, no, bro, that trauma came back. I was never, I've done this many times already. I don't want this no more. Like,
and it's like,
there. Oh, Poison Ivy reincarnated is there.
Yep.
It's like the only like probably person that who got like it was different was Toyman.
And he's an NPC.
Yeah.
All the DLC were Batman villains.
No. I'm like, man,
no cheetah.
All y'all had to do was make a semi-realism episode of the Justice League, and y'all would have won. Unlimited. Y'all would have won.
Money. Honestly, live service
bro,
money.
Honestly, bro, I don't think
if you wanted it to work, if you really cared and you tried it, that's what I would think.
To be honest, not necessarily. Because first of all, I kind of felt like the format wasn't going to work because when you really look at it, all right, for example, let me go back. Gotham Knights, and you know, I'm glad another YouTuber said this. And this is what like I feel like WB is kind of like just working in circles. It's like you're trying to use the Ninja Turtles formula in these type of open world games. You have the agile leader. You have the second in command rival who's also a brute. You have the tech savvy person, and then you have the young agile trickster. And that's the same thing how it was with Gotham Knights. Now, when it got to the Suicide Squad, like, okay, so you're using another quad base of characters. Okay, King Shark is a brute. Let's just say Deadshot is the tech savvy person because you know bullets and all that other stuff. And okay, Boomerang is the young agile trickster, and of course you just make Harley Quinn the leader. But then my thing about it is it's like, all right, I get it, you know, you're trying to build on the formula that you did in Arkham Knight, where there's a lot of fluid, like, you know, you're able to traverse the city. But I was like, but bro, like you're doing all of this without metahumans. These are regular people without their gadgets, like, and I just find it so crazy that you just see Harley Quinn jumping off a skyscraper and then using the back grapple the last second just to, it's like, no, bro, shouldn't her lungs collapse?
You're right. You're not making it natural. You're forcing this now.
You're really forcing the gimmick side of it. And then, like I said, man, and then you also, on top of a looter shooter, you also turn it into a multiverse madness game.
Right.
Oh, no, there's multiple brain. I was like, bro, this multiverse madness stuff is too much. It's too much for a game.
Especially when you're using it as a cop-out and not as a plot point. You're not using it to make a story. You're using it to make sure that nothing matters.
Brainiac Flash, Brainiac Superman, Brainiac Green Lantern. And I was just watching the cutscenes and I was like, this is a very beautiful game.
Oh, gorgeous.
These cutscenes are so well directed.
Gorgeous.
but the gameplay is pointless.
Yeah, it's pointless, man. Like I said, like the best multiverse story that we've gotten is Jet Li, the one,
That's
because they
funny.
were in and
That's
out.
funny. That's
They were they
funny.
were they were in and out.
The little slideshow. Surfer Jet Li. No, you're right. It's I'm not mad at that. Like we
In and
got
out.
right to it.
I'm
Story,
about to watch that before I go to sleep today, dog. Thank you, gentlemen.
but
That's
yeah,
funny.
but then
They
it goes
should
back to it goes back to what I said, man. Like you basically turn an Arkhamverse game into Borderlands. Like, no, you don't do stuff like that,
Mm-mm.
bro. Like that's two different parallels that
Yeah.
you're not understanding. That just does not work. And then to be honest, man, it's just like that was like the final nail in the coffin, man. Like it was just like there's so much damage to your name, your properties. Like I said, man, it's gonna take a lot of people, even your brand loyalists, I would say, to really trust you now. Because now I'm seeing a lot of MK, like YouTubers where this is their life. It's like, yo, bro, I don't even know what I want to talk about today.
Sheesh.
Like, and that's
And
The passion's
hard.
gone.
That's how hard it is,
History
man.
behind the warrior sounds defeated
that
when he
that
records.
that's that. Hey, listen, that's the dangers of making your entire channel off of one game, man. Because
Yeah,
as
it's
soon as that
tricky. As
thing
soon as
gets
they fumble
Thanos,
it, it's I hope
Yeah.
you're starting to pivot.
now you eating English food with toast and beans and and the
But
yilly shammy unlimited lamb and the hongala dog. Like
I'd say if they're gonna fix their game division, if they're actually serious about it, if they're really gonna try, you gotta
Ninja
cancel.
Turtles game.
Well, no, cancel the Game of Thrones game. One, that's first thing number one. The mobile game is already done or whatever. Okay, launch that. That's fine. You'll have the purists who will pick it up. You can do House of Dragon installments. Cool. The console games, exit. That no. Game of Thrones is still a brand, but it's not the brand that it was. The window for this is it's done. It's done. You
Yeah.
gotta
Not
get that
only
out of there.
that, like a Game of Thrones game is not fantastical. The best way to me for someone to play a Game of Thrones game is is a Telltale Games. I never get the name right.
Telltale, yeah,
Yeah,
I played
Telltale.
that
That's
game.
the
Yeah.
best way.
I
That's the
played that
best way to play that
game.
game. I'm sorry,
That
because I
was
don't care to play as Jon Snow when I can just play Shadow of War.
Yeah. Because that's what it
There's
boils
not.
down to. Is like Jon Snow is a dude with a sword. Like great character for TV. He's a dude with a sword. He has no powers. He has no abilities. He has nothing that would.
It's not like I'm playing Xena the Warrior Princess for PlayStation. That'd have been a more interesting game to play.
Mm-hmm.
Game of Thrones is just not that. You don't turn that into a game. It's not fantastical.
Yeah. And like we said before on previous pods, like again, that's fine, right? It's fine that it's not fantastical, but that's also why you don't make a game out of it, right? It's like it doesn't have to be that, but you don't then try to turn that into a video game.
Yeah, and not okay. So like this game is plus X audience. What teens are gonna buy this game? If you're gonna make the game, it's got to be raw.
Yeah, it's not for teens.
It's not for
I
teens.
would imagine most of course, there's gamers across all types of interest, but I would imagine that again, I if someone was like, what would be the target audience for this game? I'd have a hard time narrowing it down. Besides Game of Thrones purists,
And they don't play games.
And they don't, right? So I'm
They
saying,
read
I'm like,
books.
that's right. So I'm like, close it. Just no. We remove Game of Thrones off the board. When it comes to Mortal Kombat, at this point, you got to just breathe new life into Mortal Kombat 1. There's no way that you've. I don't even put all the blame on NetherRealm, but I'm like, at this point, you fumble so much goodwill with this reboot that launching a MK2 is not going to work. It's not going to work. You have to fix. If you're going to keep Mortal Kombat going, you have to fix this one. You have to. Like it's going to be. You have such a
So what are you saying?
have such an uphill battle. Because
do
where do you go
control.
from this? Yeah, do damage control.
Yeah, you have to do damage control because first of all, this is the only real, I would say, property that's out now that people are just going to support it just because.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, after this season 2, all right, and the character is going to release before Evo, and that's the next big time to do an announcement. So like, are you going to do a season 3? What characters will be included? And then to be honest, bro, we'll tell you right now, we don't care about cameos.
Yeah, it has to be all Mortal Kombat characters.
And we don't want no more guests.
Can I say this?
Go ahead.
I watched Maximilian play the Floyd challenge.
Mhm.
They'll need to do something on the lines of that type of energy.
They'd have to bring back the crypt. They'd have to bring back the story mode from Deception, where you're moving around the different realms.
Oh, that's the only way, but
But what I'm
that's a
saying is like
substantial
that's
amount of
damage
money.
control of like
Yeah, that is damage control.
you can't. To me, it wouldn't make sense to risk that on a future title. I get what you're saying. It's a lot of money, it's a lot of resources, but I'm like, you don't want to take unless this exact roster is carrying over into MK2 with no cuts. If this is the base roster for MK2, maybe. But if we're gonna be like, well, this time around, Reptile didn't make it again. Hey, hey,
No, because you already know who they're
hey.
messing with. You already know who they're messing with. It's always Jade and Tanya.
True.
It's always Jade and Tanya. Like, and this is to this day, I still feel like, bro, MKX was such a very weird thing. They did some weird stuff like via roster, bro. Because I was like, where are the rest of the remnants? Where's Jade? Like, Jade is in none of the story at all. But we get Tanya in the game. Here comes MK11. Oh, Jade is back suddenly. Suddenly, as a remnant, she's back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, we kind of killed Tanya off behind the scenes. I was like, and here comes another reboot. Oh, she's name dropped. Oh, yeah, Countess Jade is going to be a big person in your future. And here comes Melina's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Tanya.
Yeah.
Why do y'all keep doing this?
Yeah, you can't roll the dice on MK2 again unless the base roster is this roster right now. You cannot. People like fans are not going to be like,
What are you
so-and-so's
gonna do with
gone
the story?
again. No.
What are you gonna do with the story?
With the story,
This is a game to where you have to have both. I just accept. To be honest with you,
well, because they've kind of written themselves into a corner, they have to do Onaga. They have to. It would be a misstep if they try to do Shinnok again, just based off how things ended with MK10. You have to do Onaga. You have to.
No, not even 10, 11, because remember, Shinnok was still technically alive.
Oh, you're right. He was disembodied in 11.
The thing about it is, you would have to do Onaga, because honestly, bro, because first of all, you don't even know if Liu Kang created another pantheon or not.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, this multiverse madness stuff went too far. It went too far. Like, I did
right there.
You have to throw out a big name drop that a lot of people have been like expecting for a while. Because even in terms of this whole Noob Saibot story, and then the whole, the tower endings are now canon. I was like, well, bro, I'm watching Noob Saibot's tower ending, and why do I see Kung Lao beheaded? Like, you killed off Kung Lao again?
I don't know, but that's what I'm saying. Like that's something that
man.
you can't. Now where Warner Brother Games is right. If we're talking about damage control, you cannot risk releasing another Mortal Kombat. You can't. It's not gonna end well, in my opinion. So yeah, you gotta, whatever budget you just freed up closing all those studios, give it to Ed Boon. Say, hey, we're gonna take a step back and let you guys get in your bag. Let's get a couple more writers in here, please. Instead of the one guy, set a couple more writers in here, and let's figure out how we can get this shit back on smooth waters, because we did it to ourselves. Now, when it comes to DC, I'm not even going to sit there and pitch the other superheroes, because clearly anything that's not named Batman, they have no interest in. But the rumors that they're possibly going to pitch a Batman Beyond game, no, nope, no. If you're trying to get back the goodwill of the people, as much as people and fans enjoy Terry McGinnis, that does not get it done right now. Not right now.
You canceled the Wonder Woman game people were looking forward to,
or at the very least, curious about.
Curious about. Oh man, this is actually okay. I'm like, Shadow of War with.
It's a different format. It's a different format because when you really look at it, all right, Terry, you're basically going to turn it to Arkham Knight, but in a hovercraft Batmobile.
Yeah.
And he just.
Yeah. You can include Batman Beyond elements in the game. Give Bruce the suit. Maybe have like a little time forward mission in the future.
I'm not against the Batman Beyond game only because it has to, if it was the Rocksteady that did Arkham City, then
Then
I'd be
yeah,
all for it.
I'd be a little more confident, but it's not. That's the
It's not.
thing.
So
So I'm like, if it's
Honestly,
you,
if they want to do something DC related, I feel a Constantine game would actually do good.
you think?
Like, because like when you look at it, there's a lot of lore there, and then it's magic. It's
Yeah.
magic, like I guess you could you could get some people from the Harry Potter franchise in it.
Makes it
And
10
then-
playable characters, a secondary
And
hero.
then, if you want to throw in some DC universe or lore elements, like you could name drop some people. Maybe he comes across a few people like Etrigan and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I do feel like that opens up better opportunities. And and he also has like a little bit of a gunplay, so like it kind of gives you that Max Payne feel, not fully.
Yeah. No, but I hear what you're saying. Like the magic opens a lot of doors of like he doesn't have to have a very rigid gameplay type. He can do a lot of things with magic.
Yes.
Which is why when I heard that one of the canceled pitches was a Constantine game, I'm like that probably would have worked. I don't see why you guys wouldn't have seen this to fruition.
Yeah, because
Why? Why?
Because
Why would we give you what you want? Why?
Because honestly, bro, like I feel like a Superman game and a Flash game. It's too many physics that could really just be lackluster.
If AI is not running on a quantum computer, don't even mention a Superman game.
Yeah.
If Superman is not fighting under a nuked kryptonite sun, I don't want the game.
Yeah.
I don't want the game.
I laughed because when Tim mentioned Constantine, I'm like, what was the whole point of making him the protagonist of Justice League Dark, that movie? If you were not going to do anything with him, it's his movie featuring the Justice League.
And he was a big well, in the comics, like for the Injustice comics, he played a big role too.
I don't get it.
And then it just went nowhere.
He wasn't even a playable character in Injustice. So when it comes to, like I said, fixing, you do a Batman game, you do not do Batman Beyond. You scrape up whatever goodwill you had left from the Arkham City ideas and try to make it work. And then for the rest of the DC universe, like Tim said, maybe a smaller game, focus on the Justice League magic or the magical side of the DC world. And you greenlight Injustice 3. You have to.
I got something.
Like, to be honest,
better.
no, that is very true. I do feel like when you look at it, if you want to do something DC related, an Injustice game, or like if you want to get away from that storyline, a DC brawler actually works.
Mm-hmm. You have to make us fall in love with these characters again. You have to.
No, because what we're gonna do, we're gonna make ourselves a rivals game. We're gonna make our own DC rivals. Okay?
Yeah.
Marvel can do it. We're gonna do it even better. Okay?
And how'd that work out last time?
Hey, listen. This will work. I'm not championing this. I'm at the board meetings in the future. I'm operating in the prophetic right now. We're gonna make sure, right? Superman, 1 million's there. Okay, he's the one orchestrating it. Dr. Manhattan is gonna be our Galactus.
I forgot he's a DC character now. That's crazy.
Right? We're gonna have him. We're gonna have him balance the scales of fate, and then it's gonna be Dr. Manhattan.
A Watchmen game would actually work.
Oh no! Yeah. Yes, but who's gonna make in-depth mechanics so where we can?
Yeah, that was literally my first thought
of the writing.
That was my first thought.
There's nobody in this capable. There's no, like, we are in such a bad state. People don't even have the skill set to make the games they want to make.
They do.
I think so, bro.
They do.
They're just not here in the US.
That part could be true, but they do.
That part could be true, bro. Because to be honest, I recently watched that Terminator Zero anime, and I was like,
I told you it was good. It was good. It was great.
Like, especially from like the different side of the world perspective. I was like, bro,
Yep.
When I saw the AI figures as the Japanese gods, I was like, "Oh,
Told you it was good.
good
Told you. I said that was a solid binge. A
Hey,
solid
the
binge.
theme song. I went to sleep with the theme song. I woke up and said, "Yo, nah, this movie hit. This anime hit." I don't know if that's the only season though, right? Yeah, that's
That's
it's
the only
one and done.
season. Yeah. They
Okay.
should not make another
No,
one.
it's good. It's good. No,
Yeah,
I'm satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
mhm." But yeah,
Yeah.
Pleased.
but like how you said, the writers are probably not here. I mean, ultimately, bro. I mean, because I know we could ramble about
That's
WB
too deep,
forever.
man. I wanted a Ninja Turtle game out of Rocksteady.
Not
People
no
have been
more.
saying that for years,
Yeah.
bro.
This man,
Like I
if
said,
we got
I
the
keep,
oh 04 Ninja Turtles,
no, not even them, bro. Like I'm
the comic
saying,
book.
get the IDW people as the storytellers. This will work. This will work because honestly, especially how to mention the old 3 cast. Remember, we had like 2 to 3 games from them of just going through the different story points, or the part when you first defeated Shredder, or when the Ultron, when the Triceratons invaded, or then the third game was Agent Bishop, and all that. Like, bro, like you could create a story world from this, bro. You really can.
But at this point, it's
And
like,
then
who's gonna
the
make the game
turtles,
now?
Oh my
the turtles
gosh,
are
bro,
simple enough.
that would have been a crazy game, bro.
The turtles are simple, but also diverse enough where, all right, if you're switching your character, you're able to really see the difference in terms of gameplay. And then, of course, they are perfect. Oh, yeah, you want to have 4 different skill trees? By all means, have fun.
Mm.
Oh, if you get level 4 Michelangelo on this skill tree, he does a spinning kick on his shell, and you could just wipe out 30-foot ninja.
We'll never know.
Or never.
We'll never know.
Because they're kids now. They're literally teens.
And well, that
No,
and
no, that's the nickel.
well,
And that's
that and the to Tim's point, like there is no like set establishment of what the definitive Ninja Turtles are, right? It's
yeah,
like there's what Jory said. There's the teen version. There's the nostalgia bait where they drag out anytime they need to get
sales.
sales, right? So that's why the Ninja Rap is playing in the Call of Duty crossover. They're making
Then
like
you have the IDW set.
the 1987 set for like Shredder's Revenge. Like it'd be hard to like really be like, this is it. This is the
Yeah.
game that like all Ninja Turtle fans can kind of rally behind. Which is why that last running game is probably gonna get canceled. But to move the topic a little bit along, because Tim's right, we could talk about Warner Brothers for a whole pod. To be
So
honest,
grim. So
I
grim.
know that's I'm trying to find the joy, but I'm like, man, this is we are 0 for 2 in happiness. Trying to find the nuance, and then was like, I mean, this is pretty bad. Like,
Boy, that executive is gonna go into the office smiling like Anthony Mackie. You know what day it is, right? Smiling like Anthony Mackie. Yeah, you're fired.
Man. Yeah.
Oh boy.
So I guess a nuanced topic to some degree, because it just depends on how you feel about it. Tekken 8 officially announced their season 2. We're getting 4 characters. The first one being revealed as Anna, and 2 new stages. And for me,
Should have been 5.
It should have been 5. I also agree with some of the things you said in the chat, Jory, about like I do think there's some small tweaks they could have made to her design to make her just a little bit better. I'm not mad at it. I don't think it looks bad, but I do think it's just like there's like a couple little like little hms and ha's that would have been like okay,
Yeah,
I like the design. It kind of gives me this vibe of luxury revenge. Because remember in the last game, she killed her husband. Her sister killed her husband in her own wedding dress, and that's why Anna had on a wedding dress.
Mm-hmm.
So I think about it as like she took some time off. She's up for revenge, and she's being the most fashionable way possible about it.
I like her.
The rocket launcher was a bit interesting. It's a bit interesting, but it also has some alarming parts to me.
It grew on me, dog.
Yeah, because it's Soul Calibur. Go on.
No,
go ahead, Tim.
Chill.
So I'm just trying to. I mean, the only thing I'm disappointed about, bro, with that is Tekken 7 Deja Vu. They did the same thing with Tekken 7 Season 2. Is like, so now you're just basically you turned Street Fighter on us, and now you're selling us all classic characters again.
it's almost worse than Street Fighter to some degree. Because you pointed out in the group chat immediately, like you literally just sold us Anna 1 game ago, and Lydia 1 game ago. You are reselling a character because, like, you know, all those games are guilty of it, right? We talked about how Rain was made DLC twice in Mortal Kombat, but it's like, okay, the one character, I still think it's egregious, but it's the one character. You are selling it to us again, and then had the nerve to kill Heihachi and then resell us Heihachi. Like, that's crazy to me.
Quantum Super Heihachi.
You didn't even kill him.
You're right.
The meteorite. The
Near
meteorites he
death. You
scratched.
put him into a near death state.
Nah, bro, he stopped the man's heart, bro. Like,
no, and the continuity you saw, Tim. The boy who remembers saw a different continuity.
Didn't they use herbs to revive dog? They use Tekken herbs, kid.
no,
Tekken
they
herbs
didn't
was
know.
like a sensu
He
bean.
just shows up a new man with his hair down.
Yeah.
No explanation of how.
Man.
No explanation of how you helped a man who got his heart stopped by his son who punched him in the chest. Like, you literally heard the heartbeat when the fists interacted. Like, duh, duh.
Right, like he didn't throw him alive into the volcano. He threw a corpse into the volcano. But he was gone already.
Like, come on, bro. And then it's like, oh, but we saved him. Like, no, you just didn't. You saved the body from not getting incinerated.
Right.
I mean, did you see the size of the monk that saved him? That he helped prevent the
no, first of all, Kazuya, when you look at Tekken 7 before Akuma did what he did, Kazuya saw that man go down. No.
He used a genjutsu.
Let's focus. How do we feel about Tekken 8 reselling characters for season 2?
Oh, they're gonna have to call it out. Like, okay, after Anna, it's got to be new characters.
Because
just.
I think they're trying to cover their base, and that's why they added the rocket launcher to her gameplay. There's like, but technically she's not really like the same fully.
She's not. She completely. They redesigned her moveset, basically.
Yeah. Well, to an extent, like they're still like, because to keep people's familiarity with her, like yes, but then there's also now extended combos where she uses the rocket launcher. Like, it was cool to me. It was cool to me because I did kind of feel like, all right, so your sister killed your husband. Where are you on this roster?
Yeah,
But it goes back to what I said about Lydia. It goes back to what I said about who was the other one?
How she killed your dad.
Eddie.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie, and it's like, so you mean to tell me all these people who are very pinnacle to the story are not in the base roster? Like Tekken, you could have took off like an extra 4 months to get these characters in because you did not.
You could have. I would have made the DLC to where you featured the next. I'm
gonna give a little pushback because they gave us the biggest base roster out of the 3 games, out of the big.
No. See, bro, you can't do that. Don't say that out loud.
Yes, I can.
No, because the biggest base roster we ever got was Tekken Tag 2.
No, I'm talking about in this generation of consoles. I'm not talking about ever. I'm talking about in this generation of consoles. When Street Fighter gave you what, 12 characters at base? I think Mortal Kombat was what, 20, 21?
For this,
we got like 32 characters.
I agree with that because Tekken Tag is more like it's like they take it serious, but it's more like a Mario Party for Tekken.
Yeah, I get it. I get that part, but it's just like, bro, like how? All right, because first of all, like I was like, bro, you're settling with Lydia again. She was the last character of the last DLC. That was crazy, bro.
She don't have enough cachet to be sold as a character.
It's like, no, bro, and it's like, and now it's Anna again. So now I'm thinking as like, well. Is Craig Murdoch about to show up again? Is Ramen about to show up again? It's like, and then apparently, I guess you're supposed to give us some form of story content when these characters drop for free.
Where have they been?
Oh yeah, that's what they said.
Yeah,
there's gonna be.
That's the plan,
bro. After what Heihachi did, like I am not gonna wait till Tekken 9 to see what this dude has planned. No.
Yeah,
give us that now.
The current plan, until it changes, like everything else does, is that with each, especially legacy character, they're going to give you a accompanying story DLC to explain where they were during the events of Tekken 8.
Okay, wait. I'm not gonna lie. They need to stop writing like they write in Dragon Ball Z.
But they are writing Dragon Ball Z.
No, I know, but that it's terrible. Oh, this is where Armor King was when Kazuya and Jin was fighting on the Sky Mountain in space while it was taking 3 days to come down.
Dragon
No,
Ball Z.
no.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying
No,
like
no.
that is the writing though. That it
Just drop Tekken Force.
Tekken
Let
is
us
an
play.
anime.
Just drop Tekken Force. Let us play Tekken Force in Tekken as a mode. That'd have been a perfect DLC. I'd have been, oh man, you know what? I can't complain. We playing Tekken Force. Go ahead. Tekken Force has a replay value. You unlock items or whatever and costumes playing Tekken Force. That's what I would have did versus, and then you have the arcade thing on the side.
But Jory, why would I give you what you want? Come on now. What do you think this is? You think this is the 2000s, the 2010s? When I have to pack these games with content out the gate?
Good point. Good point. Oh man, yeah.
I'm just saying.
Think, okay, with Anna, her design, I think they should have just kept her a brunette. I mean, the hairstyle being cut was cool.
There'll be a costume with her.
Because to me,
having that.
what's Kazuya's daughter, sister again? I don't even.
Raina.
We don't even
Raina.
know that's really
Raina.
is. We don't even know who this
That's
person
true. They haven't
is,
confirmed
bro.
her. Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't. Like, it's like, bro, like you just add more Mishimas, and we barely just dealt with the ones we got.
So Reina. So you got Reina with the highlights, and I don't want another character with highlights. You know what I'm saying? Because you could do that
Yeah,
to Reina's
they're
hair.
definitely doing like a trend
Like
with that, bro.
Somebody
Yeah,
said that
it's not a
Anna
trend.
looked like Santa Claus because of the.
Yeah, she does. She looked like Santa Claus. I mean, why would you do that? Why not turn it black? Like, there's nobody on the board that was like, yo, she looked like Santa Claus. That's not a cost. You could never do red and white.
Yeah,
It's
you
not gonna
can't.
work.
It's not gonna work.
It's
Yeah,
done.
yeah. It's
And if
cemented for
you
one thing and one thing only.
and if you how dare you wear green? You're gonna look ridiculous. Nope, I'm
Yeah.
not taking you serious.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? So now you got the Santa color clothing on, and then your hair is highlights. I'm like, nah, just brunette, raven fur. Call it a day. And red, then the rest red. Call it a day. It would have been perfectly fine, or make it, or at least red and white like Corella Deville,
And
and then keep her brunette.
in her defense, I mean, this is one thing I'll big up Tekken. At least with every new character, bro, you get 4 different outfits.
Yeah, I would say there'll be about 6 different costumes, and you'll find the one you like, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one thing you got to give them. Like they will have a costume. You'll be like, I like this a lot. You know, like we can all complain about Paul's mid-age crisis hairstyle, and then like, well, here's a classic Paul skin if you want it. It's like, all right, well, I got what I wanted, so let me, you know.
And so
delete off my phone.
I love the name of her weapon, Lovely Tom. So I'm not really mad at it. I think for this version of Nina, that's the perfect reflection of her enemy, bazooka versus Nina's pistols, and I think it's dope.
Yeah. My whole thing, I'm with you. Like I'm completely neutral with her, other than the fact that they're selling her to us again. That's really the only thing where I'm like, this seems a little crazy. But I'm like, from what I saw, I'm like, I like the gameplay. I think it's interesting. I'm glad she's back. But I'm just like,
yeah, 100%.
Before Christy, before the real Master Raven. Okay, all right.
And they talk, and it's okay. I ain't gonna lie, we got to segue into that a little bit. What's wrong? What's wrong with having more than 5 people in a video game that's black? What's wrong with that?
You want a real answer or a joke answer?
What's wrong with that? I want rhetorical. Don't answer.
I got a joke answer.
Go ahead.
I mean, if the blonde hair, blue eyed formula hasn't failed us yet, why stop now? Why stop now?
You mean Super Blonde Fighter 5?
Yeah. If it hasn't stopped the motion.
Man, you know how crazy that roster looks on my PlayStation. I said, yo, 1, 2, 3,
6, 7,
8, 9, 10.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah.
that's what I think. That's what it's weird because Tekken is one of those games where I'd say like
Super
the
diverse.
right just off
Super
rip.
diverse.
You don't
Off
even
rip.
question it. It's just like, yeah, of course. There's an Italian next to an Indian, next to a Chinese person, next to a Japanese person, and you're just like, all right, cool, whatever. Like you don't even think twice about it, and it's just like you can keep putting them in. Like this is you're still you are lucky enough to have one of the safer fighting game communities. Just put them in the game. It's fine. It'll be all right. You don't have to, give us only a few hires
Yeah, and you
and
know,
recruits.
Victor could have easily been Raven, Master Raven, and then like to me, because I'm like, okay, and then you find out like Victor's the head of the oh, come on,
Yeah,
guys.
no,
Yeah.
honestly, bro,
You
like
could have had you
say it
could
out
have had a
loud. Say it
fire
out
lore.
loud. Say it out
You
loud.
could have
It's whitewashing.
you could have had a
Tim gave the real
fire.
answer. I gave the joke answer. Tim gave the real answer.
No, it's
You could have
whitewashing.
had a fire. You could have had a fire lord. Like I'm saying, like, okay, Master Raven. Then the Grand Honcho probably could have been, another character, black preferably. You know what I'm saying? And then they could have just
No, no,
Tim said it. That's the
no,
real answer.
no,
That's the actual answer.
black preferably, and he has connections to
no,
to
bro.
the
You will be delusional right now.
no, I'm saying I know but it's like it's there, right? It's there, like the story writes themselves, guys.
But
Usually,
These
bro,
story writes
bro,
themselves,
you
man.
saw what happened with Heihachi. No, it's not. This story is not there no more.
mm,
The story is not there no more,
he's got a
bro.
point.
Oh no,
He's
it's
got a
different
point.
now. I mean, because
It
you're gonna
is.
come back and
They're
yeah, that's
using
my
they're
whole thing,
using
man.
they're using nostalgia bait, bro, and
How
that's
would
not.
you feel if Master Raven shows up on this DLC?
I would be happy-ish, but I would have to
Yeah,
see. Listen, all right, for her, all right, since you basically gave her fighting style to somebody else,
that's the problem.
I need to see what you're gonna do with her. And if you're gonna be lazy with it, bro, you're throwing salt in my face.
That's the problem.
I'm gonna be
That's
real
where my
true.
issue is.
Here's where I'm not as they're gonna turn her into Taki. If they do it, she's gonna be either Taki,
That could work.
she's gonna either be Taki with more hand-to-hand combats, and I see some grappling. So imagine Ninja Guy Hayabusa fused with Taki. That's how I see it in my mind. If I'm gonna make this character and I have to use that my skeletal frame,
That could
it'll
work.
be that. Kinimitsu's still gonna be Kinimitsu because nobody kind of fights like her
Mm.
anyway.
No, you just brought up a point. Kenny Mutu already does kind of fight like Taki.
It's fine. That's fine. That's fine. You can still no. Listen, you can still borrow because Soul Calibur 3 has a ninja class to where they can borrow from that, and it's not like Taki at all. And you can use that as a basis. Yeah, bro. Hey, it's
Bro, you saying logic to people who care about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no, but if you're gonna use if it's already there, you know what I'm saying? Like for
Yeah,
No.
I'm saying like it's like
Because
okay.
honestly, bro, like to really like I was said, like if you really gonna sell us Lydia again, you're gonna sell us Konimitsu again. Because to be honest, Konimitsu actually brings in more people because that's the last time we seen, and technically that's not the same Konimitsu, that's her daughter. We haven't seen this particular character, I think, since Tekken 2. And a lot of people was
Mm.
like very happy that this character made a return. And I
so
was like,
what
yeah,
would be well, we can move on after this. What would be your idea season 2 roster for Tekken?
honestly, bro, I have no expectations. I'm more excited about the stages. That's how
Yes.
bad it is. That's how bad it is, bro. Like you have done such harm with that last season for me that
Yeah.
yes, Tekken, your gameplay holds up, and I'll give you that credit as a
Is it as
whole.
bad as was it as bad as my MK? I don't think so.
No,
But
it's bad, but like I said, the gameplay
bad.
holds up well.
Not better than Havoc.
When's the
Not
last time you
bad.
heard somebody mention Clive?
Yeah,
Oh, no,
Right.
no. That would you need to clip that up. No, we gotta clip up that my heart broke, dog. We looking at this graphics, we like, yo, me, like, what is this? This is how much y'all spent that much money.
Yeah,
But
they
that's we
gave him
done, bro.
everything.
We
Yeah,
done. We done. We done. We done.
yeah, yeah. But I'm kind of in the same spot as Tim, where I'm like,
I just want to see the stages.
you've done so much damage in terms of like what the story means, in terms of what the season 1 characters brought to the table. I'm like, again, it's one of those things where I'm like, maybe they could win me over, but you've actively disengaged my interest of like, I have nothing bad to say about your gameplay. The graphics look great. You guys obviously take very care to the smaller details of this game, right? I think you deserve the success that this game is having. But as far as like what you've been doing with the post-launch game so far, to me, I'm not a fan.
Sorry, just like how you said, bro. If you see Armored King come out with a mace,
Oh no, fam, it's done. No. Listen, guy, I don't think it's gonna go that route. I don't think it's gonna go that route. To me, that's an extreme because
At this point, they might bring back Ogre.
No. I'm gonna give you my lineup. I'm gonna tell you what I want. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen.
please, bro, don't.
Y'all ready? No. Y'all ready?
This is what I want. B word. Don't say.
Oh no, but this is what I want. This is what I want.
Okay.
On my Anna, Murdoch's coming back, guys.
Okay.
I like it or love it. But what I want, this has been my lineup. Anna, Master Raven.
Okay.
All right. Leo Long.
Okay. Yeah, where is he?
Bruce.
So the next topic on the gaming.
What they gonna give you?
Big news.
What they gonna give you?
Let me go ahead and fire up that topic list.
Baku Ramen.
Because now we just talking.
That's what they're gonna give you.
Now we just talking.
That's what they're gonna give you. But that's what I want. That's what they're gonna give you.
So I sent a link
to play as Bruce Tekken 6 is available on the PlayStation Network store. Have a good day.
I gotta take the 6. But you gotta be in this game.
So there was a link that I sent to the group chat. From Last Stand Media, where they broke down why most publishers have now been chasing the quote unquote live service gold rush. And the TLDW on it in a nutshell was that they found that because the development cost of these games have ballooned so much, especially over the last 5 to 7 years, even though a game, it might be selling well, right? They're not in the red. They still turn a profit, right? It sells 4 million copies, 7 million copies, 10 million copies. Because you spent 200 million making the game, that profit margin has shrunk considerably. So we take like a Marvel Spider-Man 2, which even with the mixed reception still sold 10 million copies, right? But we're hearing the rumors of that it costs anywhere from 200, 300 million just to make. And that's not including marketing. That's just to make the game. So even if you're selling 10 million copies, how much of that in pure profit are you seeing now that you've had to kind of essentially pay yourself back as far as like recouping the costs? So that to me made sense as far as like, okay, I can see why these companies now are in such a space of like, we need to find an alternative way to make more revenue. But the live service obviously is not working. So my question for you guys was, in a case like this where, and I'm sure like let's call it for what it is, greed obviously plays a part in here somewhere. In a situation like this where you're noticing the margins get smaller, and at the end of the day, like anything else, all these publishers are businesses that want to make money. What would you guys have, or what would you guys propose to be the thing of like, how can we keep these margins in a healthy place, in a place of growth?
That's weird to say, bro. It really is, because first of all, I kind of just feel like it just goes back to capitalism greed, that these investors want more money. They want more money from their investments. But I do kind of feel like we're living in such an ecosystem now that y'all all are just so quick to just move on to the next thing. Mm-hmm. It's like, bro, we're not living in the era of where you could ride a game out for 3 years because it has that much replayability. And it's like, because even when y'all, we did our reports for this particular term, I was like, bro, it's only been like 2 months. Relax. Like it's
No,
only been 2 months, bro. Really
none
relax.
of us,
Yeah.
none of us thought that Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Striker was going to do the numbers that it did. None of us did, and I enjoyed that game, and I still didn't think it'd be running to this day, getting DLC
Yeah,
as we speak.
like yes, there are games that are, and you got to understand the autonomy of things. There are games that are just one and done, and there are games like no, you can ride this out for a while. And I
Mhm.
feel like you, as a developer or somebody who's investing or an investor, need to understand that type of autonomy because you're just having very unrealistic expectations. And if you keep pressing, you're going to destroy something that is very sacred, which is this community.
Mhm.
We've already seen the downfall of, like Joy said, very public events that are no longer here due to that. Like
Mhm.
the economics of the things have changed so much. In some ways good, in some ways bad. But then the thing about it is there needs to be a balance. There really needs to be a balance. So like yes, I'm not saying live service games are a waste of time, because there are some ones that are really profiting from it. But then you got to understand is, that needs to be built from the ground up for something that really makes sense to it. Y'all be trying to add live service to things that are just not.
Right. Or could be, but have not built the rapport to like warrant it.
Yeah, because like the other day I saw more like picture art from like, oh yeah, The Last of Us online. I was like, bro, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because you had the opportunity to do it, but you allowed other things to get in the way. You allowed other things to get in the way. Like Mike said, like if you can really do a Days Gone remastered for no reason and Until Dawn for no reason, just because you're making a movie component, you have the resources to see this thing through. And the thing about it is like it was a separate add-on. Like it's literally just like how Red Dead has Red Dead Redemption 2 and Red Dead Online. They're two separate components that you could fuse together, but you don't really have to. You
Mhm.
can buy Red Dead Online for $10.
Mhm.
So my thing about it is The Last of Us Online could have happened because people wanted it. People wanted it, bro. Like it's just like no. And I get it, there's some reports, oh, but then they wanted to move on to different IP and stuff like that. But then you should have just said that from the beginning. Hey, this Last of Us is going to be single player focus with some minor post game stuff, but then we're just moving on to something else. If
Yeah.
you would have said that to us, okay. Because at the end of the day, bro, people still riding out that Last of Us 1 remastered for PS4 copy just for the multiplayer experience. People lobbies full. Don't ever turn them servers off. So like yes, it works. Like there are things that are still lasting the test of time. Even somebody brought this up the other day. Even with this new Metal Gear that's coming out, is it going to have a multiplayer component? Because a lot of people who are still paying on the Phantom Pains multiplayer, there's like, well, why would I want this when I have everything over here?
I mean, possibly to try to win over a new audience, right? There's gonna be people who are being playing. There are people who are gonna be playing Metal Gear Solid for the first time ever once his remake comes out. So I think maybe you throw in the multiplayer to try to win some of them over into that ecosystem.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah,
Yeah.
because Metal Gear
The
Online
Konami is making this game? No.
yeah,
No.
that's
It's
the
not,
thing.
no. It's not, no. It's not happening. No. Listen. No. They wouldn't even let Kojima finish the rest of the game. So no.
Yeah, when I saw that extra content that would happen with Liquid and all that, it's like, bro, you
No.
cut all of this?
And it wasn't like it was not done. It was there. They said, no, we don't want money.
And to be honest, bro,
And then they made the Chenko machines.
because you know what? If Konami really truly
Medical
wanted,
equipment.
if Konami really truly wanted to revolutionize something from Metal Gear, you know what I would have done? I would have given us the first ever HD installments of what happened in Metal Gear 1 and 2, where you actually took down Out of Heaven as Solid Snake. Remember them little 8 bits? Like, no, we're getting a full fledged story.
That
What
was
happened.
supposed to be in part 5.
No, Not that far. I mean, what they kind of did add it, but it's a
Yeah.
cutscene. You
No, no,
realize
no,
the
no.
final cutscene is
It would have
when
one.
Venom Snake gets the information
That,
that Solid Snake is coming.
that's the middle. That would have been that. Then it would have been boom. Then you would have had Solid Snake would have been the last boss.
That's terrible.
That would have been
that's
written masterfully. But
Yeah, because
that's
in the trailer it does say the missing link to the Metal Gear
yeah,
Solid. I was like,
yeah, no, 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 no. We that would have been the greatest game of all time. It had they finished its completion, boom.
that's terrible. That's terrible that like it's another thing that falls in that what if category. Like what if these people just weren't, so like nope, 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 this way, my way, my way, my way type energy. It's like to me, I want to say in a gullible, no, not even gullible, not even gullible. I want to say gullible in an optimistic way. I do think that these companies have to kind of one rein in their ego a little bit, and two focus on like slow but steady growth. Like I think they've, well, I mean, I guess we'll just see if they learn their lesson or not. But like, I think they keep trying to have this explosive growth that they experienced during COVID. It's like a junkie that got their first hit, and they're trying to chase that first high. Like you're never
Here's
gonna
where
get this again.
here's what I
So
don't
now that you're
understand.
not,
You
let's.
guys are professionals. How do you not know that this is an anomaly?
I don't
What
know.
is it that you think makes you believe that this is cemented? We were in COVID for probably a year, 2 years. That's it.
3, I'd say,
3 years lockdown,
give or
right?
take.
This isn't something that changes lives to that degree, to be honest with you. It does, and it does. Not to the effect where you feel like, oh yeah, these numbers are gonna be here forever. No.
Especially when you start looking at data, and it's like the average gamer, their age is our age, and
And
we don't have time to play games, and none of us have
and
kids. So
and
that
none
should
of
tell
us
you
have
something.
kids. That should tell you something. Also, the kids right now, they just like their phones. They don't even care for games to be what they are. They don't care for things to be functional. They just want to be with their friends online through their phone because it's free. They don't have to spend any money.
Mm-hmm.
Got children. I'm like, yo, you playing Call of Duty on your cell phone? I'm like, they know they're not getting the full experience, but they don't care.
Mm-hmm.
They don't buy anything. They just play it for free. It's free. We just play it. I'm like, you just play it for free. You don't got no stats, no nothing. That's it. You don't take nothing home with. Nah. I'm like, but so how do you think you're not good? You're playing on this Wi-Fi on your phone?
But that's the thing. They don't care. Like you said, like the things that were cemented and established for our generation doesn't apply to them. And the thing with that is like, I get it that you have to like future proof your series and future proof your IPs. That's just the way of the world, right? Like so, like when we eventually talk about Pokemon, it's like that they are a masterclass in like there's a new kid born every day. But when it comes to like these games where you're looking to see growth, it's like you said, that's right. The buying power now falls on us. We're the generation that's going to buy the game for ourselves, the one that's going to buy it for our nephews, for our nieces, for our kids. We are the ones that are buying it. So if you're making these games that are like, hey, here's this live service component, it's like, well, I only got maybe 2 hours in a day to play a game anyway. I'm not going to be on a live service game. My backlog is ridiculous. I can't be, I can't play Marvel Rivals every day. Like, I just can't. It doesn't make any sense. So like there has to be some,
especially if you're not a full-time streamer.
especially if I'm not a full-time streamer. So as I'm saying, like I think there has to be, as I'm saying, like I understand the business aspect of like, yes, you want the margins to grow. I get it. Again, it's the thing of any business. It's the thing with us. We want our subscribers to grow. We want our watch time to grow. Like everybody wants growth, but it's just like, would I have liked us to hit 1,000 followers? Yes, 1,000 subscribers yesterday, of course. But I'm glad we haven't lost subscribers. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm glad that every couple of days when I check, the number's a little higher than it was last time. So like it's one of those things where I'm like, you got to look at margins in that way of like you're not growing at the rate that you would like, but you're not taking a loss. But when you start taking
Not
these
taking a loss.
big old swings of like we're gonna just launch, we're gonna take this established IP and make a live service, like, well, who is this for? Because the people who grew up with this game do not have the free time to commit, and their kids do not care. So you're missing it on both marks of like, I would like to play it, but I can't. And I don't have any interest in playing this. I don't even know what this is. This looks like a skin in Fortnite or a soon to be skin in Fortnite, which is free. So that was just a question I wanted to pose. I'm just like, I do think, again, I get it. I get it from a logical business sense. It makes sense. I just, their way of approaching it, I'm like, I don't know if it would have just been better to do like an expansion, a revamp, right? Like if we were to get, like say even for something with like Xenoverse 2, if we had gotten like a Xenoverse 2.5 with brand new models and better, they're like something rather than just like this, 7-year-old game now, if not older, of just getting the same janky looking character models. Like it's like these are the things that like you're just squeezing that rag as tightly as you possibly can, and then being like, well, we're not making enough. It's like, well, you got to have these certain expectations. Yeah, if you're not going to launch any Marvel Spider-Man 2 DLC, you're not going to make any more money. The game is done in 15 hours. And then I put it down because it's a single player experience and you're not completing the story. So I'm going to uninstall, save my disk space, tell people, hey, maybe get on a discount. You know, the game it's cool. It's pretty good. And that's it. But you want like, okay, well, if we sank 200 million, we want to do 20 million copies. It's like, it's a video game, my dude. 10 million is an amazing number for anything. Millions. I'm like, y'all are, you know what I'm saying? These developers, they're older than we are. I'm like, I remember the era where like if a game sold 1 million, champagne was getting popped.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, you know.
People was pop bottles.
Yeah. And I was like, you know, Astrobot did like 2 million. I'm like, 2 million for a new IP? And it's just crickets on Sony's side. You know, like, it's like, I don't understand. I don't understand, like, why these expectations have ballooned this much. And then it's like all the reality checks keep presenting themselves and they ignore it. If like, I don't know if you guys saw, but the PSVR 2 is getting a price cut of almost $200 in a year.
Duh.
There's a rumor, I don't know how true it is. There's a rumor that they have a Costco-sized warehouse full of VR2s.
Because it's a gimmick, bro. It's a gimmick. People got to really realize gimmicks only last for a certain amount of time because you can't just beat. Gimmicks can't beat the foundation. You can't beat the foundation.
And if you're not going to build the gimmick into a foundation, I'm not going to invest. And you're going to charge me $500 for said gimmick. No. Like, so now it's going to be, you know, or I should say it was over $500. Now it's going to be $400. It's just like, still no. Like, that's Switch 2 money at that point. That's a Steam Deck money. Like, no.
Yes, sir. That is definitely that, man.
So a couple more quick topics before we get into our back to formula segment. How do you guys feel about the resurgence of anime expansions we're getting? Shinobi Striker is getting Young Sasuke. Rebirth of Souls is confirming another Espada character. What else got DLC? Xenoverse 2 is getting Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. Dragon Ball Kakarot's getting the part 1 of the Daima expansion. What do you guys think? Thoughts on the current set of anime games and their growth? And Tim, will you be copying Hinokami Chronicles 2 now that there's more than 6 Tanjiro on the roster?
No.
This man stays moving the goalpost.
No, absolutely not.
Stays moving the goalpost.
The only thing that I really care about, bro, is where is the support for Fighter Z? And obviously, I'll give Rebirth of Souls some fair credit because, you know, we haven't seen a real Bleach game in a while. But everything else is like...
And they look like they're trying, which is like beautiful.
Everything else is that wash, rinse, and repeat foolishness that I don't tolerate no more. I don't tolerate it. I don't.
Yeah,
it's like I'm glad I even stood on myself. I stood up for myself with this last Naruto game. I was like, bro, you're basically selling us Storm 4.2.
Yeah, not even a 0.5. And it's been on sale so many times. I'm like, should I just? Nah.
No.
Nah.
Because even that DLC was not worth it, bro. I was like, we finally got Kurenai, but no.
No Anko. No Shizune.
No, bro. You're still missing very key characters from the war arc. It's like you giving us all these god tier characters that who didn't do barely had 2 pages in the manga. They got
Right.
full move sets. All I see is earth and wind, fire, spam everywhere.
Yeah, bro. I, like you said, for me, Rebirth of Souls is the only one where I'm like, this seems pretty good. You know, like I
Mhm.
said, I think we're going to see at least a 35 character roster. Not crazy about the season pass of it being Thousand Year Blood War arc. I think they should have done that to kind of fulfill maybe even some movie characters or just remaining missing points on the roster. But to, again, first game out the gate, 35
It's
characters.
for hype. It's for hype, bro, because they want to keep it in the rotation
Right.
with the anime. So it's the most logical choice, I would say, for now.
Plus, it
Movie
lets you do
characters,
pre-work for the sequel, essentially.
yeah, movie characters you could always do.
Yeah. Frank, any quick thoughts on these topics before we move on?
Man, you know that's not for me. I listen. There's only the only game I'll consider giving, and I'll probably buy. Just probably won't be day one is Bleach.
Hmm.
I think I see enough effort for me to be like, yo, this could be very fun. This could be a nice, good pastime to kind of get involved with learning the characters and seeing who I like. I'll be willing to pay for that.
And they all play very differently too, which is very
But
impressive.
Dragon Ball Z, anything, Naruto, anything.
No.
Flush it down the fermented New York sewer drainage pipeline.
Yeah. When they showed that one
I
Kakarot Daima clip of Goku fighting Tamagami, I was like,
listen.
this looks a little rough.
We're not talking about anything Dragon Ball Z now.
I mean, we are. It's one of the
We are,
topics,
but we listen. Those games kaput. Bleach is the only game I'm gonna acknowledge to where I actually feel like
a
these
level of
guys
interest.
care.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. That's the
And
only one I'm
that's
like,
it.
okay,
There's
I could.
nothing else. There's nothing else I care about, man.
Fair
I
enough.
I don't I don't I hate those games. I hate them.
Well,
I
when
hate
we
them.
have a
I
when we
hate
have
them.
a less topic heavy pod, I'm gonna let you, or just drop the video essay so we can
I
see.
hate them
Because,
so
but
much.
moving into back to formula, there was only one topic that could make the list this week after its reveal. Are you good, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm just like, dog, like you have to
Pokemon.
show people respect, man. Tim, I'm mad for you, bro. I'm not gonna even say anything with the Pokemon.
So Pokemon Day got announced, got revealed. We got a glorious 19 minutes of reveals and nothing but announcements to cap off the 29-year legacy of Pokemon. And with that being said, I'm just gonna cue up some music for Tim and just let him,
No,
you
no,
know.
yeah, I'll go ahead. I'll go straight ahead.
Hold on, bro. I gotta let you get, let you get your bars off for a second, bro. Hold on. Give me just a second. Give me just a second.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead, bro.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, I had some real good, like, heavy time to really come at this from a very balanced point of view. Ultimately, I gave Pokemon Day a 6 out of 10. A 6 out of 10.
Gracious.
For one, like, okay, you mean to tell me you took a year off? Or actually, you know what? Let me scale it back a bit. They covered their bases, yes, because I know they've been heavily focused about their multiple properties because, Pokemon has expanded so much. So everything is about the online trading card game and all the other multiple side spin-off games that they have, like Pokemon Unite, Pokemon Sleep, Cafe Remix, all that other good stuff. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But the main thing that people have been wanting to see, okay, it got broken down into two. One was something we were expecting. The other one was more of a leaked surprise that people didn't really know.
Mhm.
I'll talk about the least surprise. Like, okay, so you're bringing back the Pokemon Stadium formula, and especially how things ended with Ash Ketchum because somebody posted that picture where he had all three gimmicks that he could use. But then now, of course, there was one gimmick that was introduced after that. Okay, yes, people have been asking for this. Like, with all these gimmicks that you have out there, can we get a battle system that you could utilize all four? So, okay, you check that box off. Pokemon Champions is here. You could Gigantamax. You could, well, actually, they didn't show that. You could use Mega Evolution. You could use Terrastal. We didn't see Gigantamax, Dynamax, or like Z moves, but I'm pretty sure that they are there.
Mhm.
Then my thing about it is, okay, cool. That's fine. That is completely fine. It was a simple trailer. Got past that. Now here comes the next big installment for the Pokemon franchise, and I do consider the Legends game a big installment because they play a very particular role. You mean to tell me after a year of just radio silence that this is all you had to show? The biggest red flag for me was when I woke up and I found I was like, wait, it's only 19 minutes? I was like, no. Bro, if this show was not an hour, it's a waste to me. Like, yes, you showed a trailer. It's very pretty. I mean, I do like the graphics. I guess this is like their last big thing that they're trying to do for the Switch.
Pretty's not the word I would
The
have
starter
used.
choices of Chikorita,
It's not the word.
Tepig, and of course,
The goat.
the goat,
The goat of the second generation.
Total Dial. It was very interesting choices. And of course, the internet went into a craze of, well, what happened to Syndicate? I was like, bro, did you not play the last game?
And hear what happened to him
But that was
behind
very
the
interesting, though.
scenes.
Like, why you chose two Johto starters? Because a lot of people thought they were going to follow the Legends Arceus formula, where you chose a Gen 2 starter, a Gen 5 starter, and a Gen 7 starter to like continue the cycle. But you gave us two Johto starters and a Unova starter, which I guess is like that Johto Unova bait, because technically people have been wondering, like, are you ever going to revisit still games? Whatever. Okay, yeah, the battle system, you now have free movement to a degree. Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah.
My only thing with this particular title, bro, is like, okay, I get it. This is technically after X and Y, which, that's the first time, Pokemon started to do the whole Europe scene, especially how X and Y ended, and it was cut short because they were just moving on to other things. You mean to tell me the basis of this whole story is us within this one city in an entire region?
Maybe.
Maybe. I mean, I guess the details will unfold over time, but then a lot of the story speculation is like, no, bro, like that's a disservice. Kalos had so many different landmarks. And my thing about it is like how well, Legends Arceus also had legendary Pokemon. They had one new legendary Pokemon that you could capture, and they had some other legendaries that you could capture. You mean to tell me I'm supposed to catch all those majestic Pokemon in this city?
Maybe. I mean, there was a little warp
And I get
portal
it,
to the roof, right? So there might be a little warp zone where you fight
but bro, it's like there's just
between
some things that
dimensions.
there's just some things that Legends Arceus did that I love so much, and I was hoping for the next game in the franchise, with this type of way of storytelling, I was hoping for more. I was really hoping for more, like give us more clarity about, because first of all right, yeah, you showed megas, but like it's like, bro, you ain't shown no new megas. Like if you at least show me two new megas to get excited about something, it's like the biggest excitement people are having that is causing a whole Twitter discourse is the starters. People are thinking like, oh, are these starters going to get megas, or are they going to get regional forms? It's like, oh, like we just had a whole debate in the chat, like, well, what are their final forms are going to be? But it's like, bro, after a whole year off, that's all you got.
Mega for
It's
alligator.
like it's like what Thanos said. After all that, for one drop of blood, and that's how I feel. That's how I feel. I get it. Pokemon has their loyalists, and they're going to always support and be excited because yes, they've been denied for a whole year. Like they're in a drought. Like they're thirsty for water. They want something to just grab hold to. And I get it. Maybe it's maybe it's our mindsets that we've seen this from the beginning, from the very beginning. But it's just I was not pleased. I was not
Gave it a
pleased after a
6. That's
whole
not
year.
bad. 6
No,
ain't bad.
I gave it a 6 because they covered some bases. They covered some bases. Pokemon Stadium, I'll call it Pokemon Stadium 5, technically, when
Blasphemy.
you really look at this.
Blasphemy.
No, I mean, it really kind of is. Kind of. I mean, well, it's only one trailer, just like how you said. They only showed CGI.
When they said that it was, when they first announced that it was coming to mobile and then the Switch family, I said, oh, that's it.
I thought it was cross-platform.
It is cross-platform.
Okay.
So,
Well, I guess I probably missed that part. Okay.
which tells you
We'll see how it develops, because I do think they're trying to, like, like how Jory said, they are like a lot of these companies, especially coming from the East, they are trying to stick to mobile stuff. I mean, like I said, the trading card game, when I first wait, the trading card game is getting mobilized? Like, you can buy packs online? Like, bro, I felt the kid version of me, like, tugging on my parents' pocket. I need $5 more. I need $5 more. It's like, bro, if you and Daisy have a kid and get Pokemon, bro, bless your heart.
Not in my household.
Because that trading card game is banking. So, like, obviously they do see the potential of their mobile elements. We'll see how it plays out. I mean, that's me being hopeful. But like I said, my focus was Legends ZA, because it's like, this is it, bro? Like, that's really just it. Like, you mean to tell me I'm supposed to capture Tyranitar in the city?
Mm-hmm.
I'm supposed to capture whatever hidden legendary that y'all might throw at us last second in this city? Like, no, bro. Because I kind of feel like, once again, you're cutting this region too short. And then, depending how this goes, you're just going to jump into Gen 10.
Probably.
Crazy. And our Articuno in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
Wild.
Hey, Frank, you got any thoughts before I
mean, the only question I got for Tim is, why would we give you what you want? Why? I mean, I don't know, man. Like,
because, like, all right, to go back to our point, like, because first of all, especially after
there was a
all
point.
that
I'm sorry. There's a point that you made in the chat where you were talking about the regions, and you were hoping that it was bigger. I was like, man, I don't even know the depths of what that game is. But when you said that, I looked at the map and I said, yo, you saying that, it points out everything. That's problematic.
Yeah, very problematic, bro. Like, yeah, we don't know if it opens up later or not, but I kind of feel like that's something you should have clarified after a whole year. Like, after a whole year. Because, like, I get it, bro. Like, people keep saying, like, especially when Pokemon was starting to enter the open world, I don't know, maybe if they have fears after what happened with Sword and Shield, Legends, Arceus, and even Scarlet and Violet. It's like, well, bro, you're clearly trying to milk the last Switch out until y'all figure out how y'all want to do the Switch 2. But my thing about it is like, you mean to tell me after 3 games, I don't know if y'all trying to make this one like a short and sweet Legends game, but I was like, bro, I'm not feeling the fact of I'm just confined to the city. That is going to get old so quick. So it makes me think about what is the length of this story. But then people's like, oh, but then it's based off Paris. What if there's a whole thing about catacombs? Like, yeah, you're underwater.
There'll be catacombs.
Yeah, there'll be catacombs. I guess you're gonna bring the dive mechanic back or whatever. But it's just like a entire story confined to a city, one city. Like, think about it is like in X and Y, you had multiple cities with different flair and flavor. You had a tundra over here. You had like a jungle here. You had an ocean that had some mythical Pokemon like lore connected to it. And it's like, you mean to tell me I'm not going to see none of that? Because if this is truly after X and Y, which it is because of a particular character that they showed in the trailer, which I'm happy for, that man deserved a happy ending.
Yeah, I'm glad there was some lore clarification of like, okay, we're not just going to abandon these storylines for these characters. That's cool. I do not give Pokemon Day, 6 out of 10. I'm not even, y'all know me. I thrive on disappointment. I'm a Digimon fan. Pokemon Day to me, Pokemon Day to me as an outsider who was brought back in by Tim on the 3DS era, this was like a solid 3 to me. This was the bare minimum boys back at it again when it comes to this game, in my opinion. Like the fact that like you guys couldn't even commit to doing a true successor to Pokemon Stadium because you've seen the success of the Pokemon trading card games. So like,
Actually,
we'll just make it
technically,
up.
they already have. No, technically, like Pokemon Battle Revolution was technically a successor to that.
What system was out for Tim?
3DS, I believe.
Exactly. We've had the Switch for 8 years.
Okay, true.
That's what I'm. That's what I'm saying. Like, to me again, who has had to deal with tempering my expectations for the things that I like. I'm like, to me, I'm like, if Digimon had access to the money that Pokemon had when it came to resources,
True.
You guys would be getting far better games. If the creators of the Digimon team were ever allowed into Game Freak Studios, your minds would be blown at what they could do with a little bit more budget. So when I see things, when we're talking about the trailer and we're seeing an Onyx the same size as Shaq, and I think back in my head as a kid when I thought about how cool a rock snake looked, even on the Game Boy, and then you told me that he got even bigger and his name was Steelix, just to show me that.
Yeah, because that's what makes me think. Like, if we're in this city, are Pokemon going to get scaled down?
Oh, absolutely. I think that's why they showed Onyx. Like, temper your expectations. They're not going for scale. And then I showed you the clip from the Digimon game where I'm like, yo, where Garurumon is all 8 feet tall, standing next to Metal Greymon, who's 10. Because those things matter with these creatures. So to me, I'm like, here it is. You've had a year off. PalWorld is on y'all behind, whether y'all want to admit it or not. They're doing once they figure out an engaging gameplay mechanic.
And it's just gonna get Fortnited into.
You might as well pack it up.
Yo, you mean to tell me this fake Snorlax with an AK-47 could be my homie?
Right, who's helping me build a cottage, and then I'm training Leomon on the side.
I'm trading Leo.
Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm like
Blazikenmon on the.
Yeah, bro. I'm telling you, for me again, I'm like this is like, to me, I'm like, this has felt like it's kind of like when someone's like at the gym and they do like half their reps. Like, they're working out, right? There's effort being made, but I'm like, yo, you're supposed to get to 10. You have 5. Like, come on, let's put the rest. That's what Pokemon Day felt like to me. I'm like, it felt like I'm here, I'm present, but I'm not active.
Yeah.
And like you said, after a year off to get like, yo, our last Legends game is going to be on the Switch 1, the game that we've been struggling with this entire generation.
Yeah, because now it's like, because I remember some person was talking about, oh, but then, they're going to go even harder for the 30th. I was like, 30th? You mean to tell me I got to wait till whole next November? I mean, February? And then like with this whole one, now we got to wait for these random monthly Pokemon presents if they decide to do one for more updates about a game that took a year off of updates already.
And given the track record of what they've done, what makes you think they're going to try next year based on what they've done?
Yeah, like Pokemon has hit like a very copy paste, rinse and repeat type of formula. Yes, they have some moments where they do innovate, but it's just like now it feels very, very lukewarm. It's like, bro, you mean to tell me, like, first of all, I should have felt like Legends ZA itself should have deserved 30 minutes. And then you could have done the next 30 minutes for all that extra stuff. And then, of course, you get updates about, Pokemon Concierge is getting more episodes on Netflix. I don't care about Pokemon White Lotus. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care about these things. Like it's a lot.
Your 6 was mighty kind. This is a 3 to me at best. This was, we didn't expect the Pokemon TCG to make as much money as it did. And since it did, we don't got to try because we'll still print money. All we'll do is hit the arcades button. Boop.
And that's exactly what they did. They released the new pack the same day. I was like, bro,
Oh my
you
gosh,
can't make
dog.
this up, bro.
What
You
do you got?
can't make this
The
up,
god
bro.
of Pokemon, What's that one that they liked? What's that? Our Pokemon version of Shenron? Oh, Rayquaza. Doop. Like it's you let them off easily. You let them off easy, in my opinion.
Yeah, because like I was like, bro, how? Because you remember the art that I kept sharing in the group. It's like, bro, how are your fans putting more effort than you? Like, bro, some of them images had me teary eyed. I was like, bro, this is real.
That Feraligatr, that was a steel type or a rock type?
A poison type.
Poison? That was a poison?
A fan
Like,
designed
yo,
that.
But it goes back to what I'm saying, man. It's just like, bro, y'all are just leaving too much room for error for me. Like, yes, you know, you're making money, and I feel like that's the thing that they're focusing on. But it's just like, bro, like, come on, don't let the quality dip so much.
But it's, I mean, again, we've seen it. It's like we've seen people like we've seen these developers over and over again. Like they'll pick the safe route every time. Of like, I honestly, truly, and in my heart, believe that if the Pokemon TCG mobile hadn't done as well as it did, they would that Pokemon Day would have been an hour and a half in terms of length of presentation. They would have broken down
probably.
every single mechanic of Legends ZA and why it's going to revolutionize the Pokemon series instead of a couple of snippets. I'm telling you. But Pokemon TCG made bread, printed money, and like you said, it ignited enough of those inner kids to our adult wallets, and people swipe, so they can get the satisfaction of a digital art. And I play mobile games, and I don't pay for any of those things. It is a PNG file. They don't even have proper battle mechanics in the Pokemon TCG yet. So that's where I'm at on that. I just, to me, I'm like, Pokemon has just not got to the point of like, hey, you can get with it or get out. Because as long as we got something printing money, I don't care to try. I don't want to try. And it looks like I don't have to try. Sorry. So when you get this Legends ZA, Legends ZA, that runs at 720 frames per second, struggling to hit 30 frames per second. Sorry, 720p, struggling to hit 30 frames per second, with just as many glitches and crashes as Scarlet and Violet, despite having an extra year of development. Hey, Scarlet and Violet still sold millions of copies, right? So we're right back where we started.
Bro.
We're right back where we started. But in terms of PSS approved, I nominated this to the group. Y'all didn't have any other suggestions. Dory's only suggestion was a game he had his own segment for last week. So I'm like, all right, I guess I'll take it.
Yeah, I didn't have anything that
Yeah, so the thing I nominated for PSS approved was Dragon Ball Dokkan Battle for two reasons. First reason is we've been very, very hard on Dragon Ball this past month. Understandably so, right? I'm not going to sit there and say like, hey, didn't have it coming. It deserved every bar we've given that franchise. But I think in terms of seeing someone within that camp at least try to do something different with the Dragon Ball formula, I think Dokkan Battle, as far as fan service, I'd say, has done things in a way that are interesting. So when I say that, yes, they still do the same tropes, right? Like nothing is going to be as good animated as when it comes to Vegeta or Gogeta. They will always get the budget of the budget when it comes to animations. But when I'm watching them being the first one to give Beast Gohan an actual moveset, right? That Sparking Zero actually ended up copying. Or when I'm seeing them use Blue Gogeta and him using a Gallic Kamehameha, you know what I'm saying? Or like seeing Gogeta use the Soul Punisher as a Rasengan, basically. I'm like, at least I'm watching a game that like clearly cares to try. Like they released a Teen Gohan from the Cell games, and it's probably one of the most beautiful animations I've seen from that Father-Son Kamehameha in quite some time. I'm like, and this is on my phone. I can't even get that on Sparking Zero. I can't even get this on a game that is in 4K on my TV. It's on my phone that I'm getting this. The animation lines, you know what I'm saying? Like the Monkey D. Luffy punch when he hit the Celestial God, like that type of smear lines from a phone game. So to me, I give Dokkan Battle the PSS approved because it still puts a little bit of energy into the Dragon Ball fan in me that is slowly dying every day with this franchise. The fact that you can still be like me, who I played the game on and off for years, I've never spent $1 on it. And even though it may not have the friendliest of gacha mechanics, the fact that I'm still able to enjoy myself without having spent $1, like granted, yes, of course, there's events where I'm like, ooh, I should probably grab that credit card. But then I think about the long-term ramifications of said thing, and I just don't. But the fact that I'm able to find a level of enjoyment, a level of Dragon Ball experience, the fact that they're willing again to give new techniques and not just using the same cinematic angles that we've been seeing for over 15 years of recreating the anime for the 45th time again, I got to give it up to them. You know, it's a game that, sure, it's Dragon Ball Bubble Pop, or Dragon Ball Candy Crush, but I happen to enjoy it quite a bit, and that's why I feel like it deserves a PSS approved.
I think I saw like a trailer. It was like Vegito versus Gogeta.
Yeah, whenever they need to print money, they just drop a new fusion animation. And another thing, I'm glad you said that, Tim, because they've done crossovers with all the other Dragon Ball properties, and they don't treat it nearly as well because they don't care. They've thrown in Dragon Ball hero units, and they're some of the worst characters in the game. And I'm like, you see, this is a team that gets it. This series don't matter. That's right, make them trash.
Oh boy, Dragon Balls is such a disappointment.
Speaking of Dragon Ball, now that we're on to our Otaku Insights segment of the show, fellas, Dragon Ball Daima has officially come to a close. Episode 20 aired yesterday. From the time of this recording, it wrapped everything up. Is the phrase I'll use in terms of the Daima chapter of this franchise, and probably opened more plot holes than it closed. And now that Dragon Ball Daima is over, what are our thoughts?
It was there for likes. It was there for engagement and nothing more.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, that's what it was for. It was just there for like animation and nostalgia bait. Honestly, you know, as a person who really cares a lot about story, and I know fans, I guess, you know, quality has different definitions, but I feel like this was a waste. I kind of felt like, you know how like Super was kind of like taking like old elements of other villains and remixing them in their way?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like this should have been a Garlic Jr. story.
Easily.
Because when you really look at it, because I'm thinking about, all right, Garlic Jr. makes sense because at least there's a connection to Piccolo. Because when you really look at the name of their races, the Namekian and the Minekian, two blue-greenish creatures with pointy ears.
Oh, no magic.
And their predecessors fought for the same goal. Like, it's like, bro, come on. Like, there's so much you could have done with this story. And then the thing about it is, you know, if you like, you know, he was around other, like, you know, demon-looking characters. And like I said, to this day, they are some of the best designs. And they had some of the most uniquest fighting styles, bro. They're like, one of them almost chopped Goku head off.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's so much stuff you could have pulled from, bro. Like, oh, you know, there's something wrong and we have to go to the dead zone. And then, because obviously, you know, the dead zone is not like a prison as you thought, because dude came back with a whole squad of people. Last time I checked, and that was filler.
Yeah.
So and then, you know, like, yes, you know, I get it, but you know, we finally got Super Saiyan 4. Like, did we?
That was the other thing. I'm like, you guys finally, the whole hype about it was that it's now been canonized, only for them to then uncanonize it the very next episode of like, well, then if this is how it played out, that can't possibly tie into Super. It's literally impossible.
Yeah, because there's multiple things in Super that supports the fact that Goku does not have this form.
Yeah.
So, and you're saying you're not extending Daima. It was a one and done suite. And next thing you know, it's super properties. But where's this form? Because to be honest, bro, I've said people for many times, I felt like the Super Saiyan Blue, Super Saiyan God, I feel like they were pointless forms to me because I kind of felt like, all right, we're taking this color palette stuff to the next level. And even with Vegeta, this whole gimmick, he doesn't want to call it Super Saiyan for like, no, it's Ultra Vegeta 1.
That was funny.
I was like, bro.
That was funny.
I was
I,
like, bro,
I,
come on.
I chuckled. I'm sorry. I
You
Yeah.
didn't want to call it 3?
Yeah,
Nah,
no,
you don't want to call it
we
3.
call it Ultra Vegeta
Ultra
1.
Vegeta 1.
That's Vegeta though.
That's what I'm
good
saying. Like
character
that's
value.
very
good
on
character.
brand for his character.
Because
Like,
it's like, but it's come to the point where it is just for giggles now. It really is just for giggles, and there's no context. Like, because to be honest, I gotta stand for GT. GT handled the transformation much better. Like I said, bro, like Super Saiyan 4 always gave me. It is a hybrid form of your base level, but also a great ape, and it shows that in GT. But like, it's just been reduced to yell, Goku, yell.
yell, Goku,
Yeah,
yell.
Goku. Yeah, that's a great,
And they could not help themselves. They just couldn't help
great
themselves. They had to
title.
use the limit breaker palette. I was like, bro, y'all just could not help yourselves.
Nope.
They had to. It's like, bro, come on.
Because in the thought the logic that's used is, well, why would the hair be a different color from the fur? It's like, what do you mean? Why not? What we're talking about fur that magically just sprouts out of his chest. It doesn't. Why would I care for his hair to be the same color as the
And
fur?
the color context was actually worked in GT.
Right.
The jet black hair.
But the
with-
wild part is that it's not even just a color contrast. You're saying his eyes are red, his eyebrows are red. I'm just like, this is just for toys, huh? This is just for toys. There's no.
It's just for toys. It's for toys. It's for Xenoverse. It's for Kakarot. It's for what's that next one?
And
It's
then
for
he looks goofy, man.
Some
And
people
then
like it.
if I don't like the big arms because it's like, okay,
It makes sense, but I don't like it either. I see how they got to that point, but I don't have to like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can see why this was a decision, but
and then you give him baseball jersey size, like you stop the fur. I'm like, what you doing, man? You gave him a hockey first shirt where the sleeves stop right here. I'm mad. What you doing?
I just
Like it should have just been. If anything, it should have covered the palm like an actual gorilla.
And then it goes
Yeah.
back to what I said. You didn't have to do this. You didn't have to make them children to do this. You did not
No.
have to make it Dragon Ball Tiny Toon Adventures to do that. You didn't have to do that.
He wanted
But
GT,
the villain was very whack to me, bro. Even how he was technically defeated,
Trash.
I was like, bro, what is this?
Trash. When you beat me to the chat and said, "Kid, is this a defected stormtrooper,
Pride Trooper.
Pride
a
Trooper.
power trooper, a pride trooper?" I was like, "Yo, oh man."
Oh, that was lazy, bro. I don't know if that was a undersight, but
I think it was an oversight. I think it was an
I'm
oversight.
thinking, Buddy gonna transform into maybe Deborah's son or daughter will show up, and we just, oh my god.
There's such a regression happening now. Like, how do you go from Deborah, who has such a menacing look, and then he showed how menacing he was 2 seconds later?
He was a problem. He was a problem.
I was terrified of
and the
homie
plot
as a
holes,
kid.
it's like, so
He just spit
Kibito
on you, he
and
turned to stone. Oh
Kibito
no.
Kai just
A Dragon Ball Z character? Oh no.
He can manifest weapons out of a sword, a spear. He's a dragoon. Like what?
it was a regression, man. It was a regression, and I know fans gonna feel a way about this opinion, but I just felt like Daima was a waste. And I'm glad that there are some other people who understand that point of view. Like, this is a story regression. Like, no offense to Toriyama, God rest his soul. Thank you for your years of service. But this was for laughs and giggles and nostalgia.
That's why I've been sipping wine the entire episode. I've had to calm my nerves. I'm like, I knew this Dragon Ball topic was coming.
Bro,
And
like I
I felt my
said,
inner
bro,
child dying.
like I said, man, if it's not Fighter Z, I don't care. I don't care.
I'm gonna shoot this series. Not even some bail. I'll say this. I liked that they made Super Saiyan have an impact. I like that. Anytime these characters turn Super Saiyan, it wasn't thrown away immediately, like we've seen in most Dragon Ball media. I like the fact that they didn't spam their attacks. Most Dragon Ball things, Goku's throwing Kamehamehas out like it's a ki blast, like a regular ki blast, doing a whole lot of nothing. Every time we saw Kamehameha in this series, it was a problem. The fact that he blew through 3 layers of hell in one beam, okay, put some respect on the attack. The dead zone, yeah. But the thing that was
the demon realm.
The thing that was funny about that is that he corrected the impurities in one of the realms by blowing a hole in it. Like the gas that was weighing everybody down was out, now can filter out through the crater that he created, therefore allowing everyone to fly. I'm like, that's pretty convenient. I like the Tamagami. I did. They didn't do enough with them. Like they didn't do anything with any of these new characters that they introduced, but I like the Tamagami. I like the fact that all of the Supreme Kais are not on the same page, and that Zamasu is not just the exception. It's just like it implies that the Kaioshin are people who can easily go either way.
But there's another plot hole. So remember when Goku blocked, Multiverse Madness? The reason why he was able to take over because Barris was dead, because Kabito and Shin were the last Kais. But you just introduce a whole set of brothers and sisters in this particular universe. So that means he's not the only Kai left.
Yeah.
But then how did they connect to the massacre of when Majin Buu was killing all of them?
Great question. Would have been nice if they explored that a little bit in this. So that's like. So again, I'm not gonna sit there and say it was all terrible. We all agree that the animation was A1. I laughed actually from last week's episode, thinking about Jory's comment about like how Vegeta clearly had mastered Super Saiyan 3 to a level that Goku hadn't. The man was transforming mid punching Goma. He's like yelling, punching Goma, the hair's getting spikier. Punching Goma, the hair's getting spikier, and then he finally just fully. I'm like, this is again visually interesting.
Well, to be honest, and that's why, like I said, I appreciated the Universe 6 Saiyans because they made Super Saiyan matter again.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm trying to say, bro. Like, you don't really need all these new transformations. Like, you could focus on the main 4, but then advance yourself within technique. Mm-hmm. And I kind of felt like that's where like I always felt like when you really look at the story of Dragon Ball and the early part of Dragon Ball Z, because when you really look at it, Goku's technical first rival was Tien.
Yeah.
And Tien was such a menace because he had so many techniques that you just didn't know how to handle.
Mm.
And then his next rival was Piccolo, who even took techniques to the next level. But then the thing about it is, Piccolo had such a battle prowess that he was so deadly that, like, even the part when they were doing the countdown, like 5, 4, 3, mouth blast to the chest, bam.
Mm-hmm.
Like he literally he waited for that because he knows like you get off on that. Like he knows your ego. Mm-hmm. Just boom, shot you straight to the desk. And then of course Vegeta. Now you're finally having an opponent who mirrors you because you are of the same culture. But how do you expand on that? And that's why I kind of felt like, that's why I said to myself that Super Saiyan 4 is the pinnacle of Saiyan transformation because it is finally their peak. But then within that peak, how do you develop yourself? It's simple. It's so simple, bro.
It's just a convenient thing. Like Dory said last week, it would have been more interesting if Super Saiyan 4 had made Goku more ferocious, more primal, more like, yo, we got to calm him down. He's going crazy over here.
To be honest, they kind of did hint that when he fought baby Vegeta. It was in his demeanor a little bit. He was much more focused, much more serious, very sinister. Like baby was kind of concerned, like, you were like a whole different person.
Like I said in the chat, I never would have thought I'd be bigging up GT ever in my life. Never. Outside of, again, they had good story concepts.
But they made us
4-star hands. Yeah. 4-star hands. Yeah, that's why I'm like, I think, again, in terms of nuance, I'm not going to sit there and say it was absolutely horrible. I just think like it was just, I think as time goes on, people will have to admit to themselves that this was probably one of the laziest routes they could have taken with this series.
It was.
I don't think it's up to
for
like debate.
likes. That's all it
Yeah.
was. It was for likes. It's for likes and reels, bro. This was fan service. That's all it was.
That's
all it was.
Okay. That was 10 final thoughts. Jory, any final thoughts on Dragon Ball Daima?
In the words of Owlman, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because it's the one action that you will take that'll have any true purpose. And that's for it not to matter. Write a story that erases the entire continuity of Dragon Ball Z. Let's do it. That's it. Does it? Yes, it does. It does erase in a lot of ways. You have plot holes with Majin Buu.
It
No.
this
is for the viewer who I can't hear them say, "Hello," like Anakin. I'm telling the truth, man. You were supposed to restore the Jedi, not destroy it. You were supposed to restore Dragon Ball Z, man. Look at what we got here, man. It doesn't matter. Anything not after Dragon Ball Z doesn't matter. Even if it happens in Super. Because it's not even after Oob's parents.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me this is the Goku so what Goku was that fighting Oob?
Who knows at this point? A
Digimon
different multiverse
Tamer,
Goku at this point.
King of Games, Blue Eyes, Final Dragon, Leo.
Yeah, a different universe. It's
what version of Trunks is that? Master Swordsman Trunks? Trunks probably learned from Hit how to stop time and use the ocarina. What version of these Z fighters are we looking at? Does Tien have 5 eyes now? Does he have the Jagana eye? What version of these Dragon Ball Z people are we looking at now, bro? Because I'm like, yo, there's no way this is regular Goku. So Goku shouldn't even wear karate gi anymore. He should just wear clothing that's just like Kryptonian gear.
Well, no, because now it's like the karate gi determines what timeline we're in, right? Like clearly these are not the same timelines anymore. So if you see him in a different uniform, this is a different time. This is a completely different continuity. This is Goku 618. Vegeta 619.
So you mean to tell me the Vegeta that wore black in Battle of Gods, Resurrection F, is a different Vegeta?
That's a different Vegeta.
He was wearing black, right?
Yeah,
he was wearing his black and okay.
At this point, it's
if I see Super Saiyan 5,
it's not off the chart. It's with the way they introduced Super Saiyan 4.
Ultra
that
Instinct
creates more
Super
problems
Saiyan
than
4?
Why not? Goku says, "I knew I had it in me. I didn't know if I could pull it off. Like you didn't know if you could sprout a tail and fur and a."
And where did it go? Why'd you have a problem with Broly? Why were you surprised with Broly? Nothing. When Tim put Owlman and realized where I got the quote from, I said, "Okay, that's right." I'm about to watch the movie right now, man. Turn on my Apple Plus, man. TV Plus, bro.
Oh man, Tim, there was something you said in the chat that I wanted to quote to close off this topic. I can't remember. It was something besides the Goku yell that I thought was like hilarious. Oh my gosh, what did you say? Oh man,
bro, nothing matters, bro. Nothing.
No, but it was something you said. You said something else. Oh well, the Goku yells enough. That was funny enough to me. So we had one more topic for the night, but I think I'm going to table it for next episode. It is kind of in the same vein of some of this anime topics. But yeah, I'm just going to table it for the night. But I'm sad that we weren't able to carry this episode on a brighter note. I felt like we just went from bad topic to bad topic and kept trying to see the light, and it was just hard. It was just hard. Like I'm trying to man.
We can't shy away from stuff. No, this is the truth. We gotta the kid the only the, o- the only bright note we can end it off is I got a mic now. An official sound setup. That's it. You feel me? I was saying, Tim, if you need some help for a mic, man, I got you, bro. I'll send you the little fee, man. We in this together, dog. That's the only way we could win, man. That's it. That's the bright note, man, bro. That's it. No. That was too much for me to take in a week, bro. Too much for me to take in a week, man.
Yeah, my only takeaway is that Rebirth of Souls looks pretty good. That's like my good news of the week. I'm like, that looks pretty interesting.
I wasn't even upset. They basically gave us another Ichigo, which is his cousin. I wasn't even upset.
His Shinigami counterpart. Yeah. I was like, all right, yeah, whatever. 35 character roster.
I was like, yo, is this Ichigo with blue eyes, kid? What are we doing?
No, that's his actual blood. That's his actual blood cousin that they still haven't talked about yet.
Oh, he gonna show up in this new arc.
He's dead, bro.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, that's what they say.
He's
okay.
Dead.
He's dead.
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Aizen got to him, was talking to him.
No, the Hollows got to him.
Yeah, he got eaten by a Hollow.
And used his body as a marionette, actually, pretty much.
No, the Hollow that killed him was eaten by another Hollow. Remember, because the whole Menos Grande concept.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he got consumed, and then that Hollow got consumed by something else.
And then decided to use his essence. So he's
oh, wow.
He's
gone.
He's gone.
Okay, man. That man got infinity.
Ichigo had a whole arc with his cousins, and he didn't even know it. And until this day, nobody talks. It's like, bro, that is your family. It's kind of like with Tanjiro and the Miss Hashira's like, so y'all just kind of realize y'all kind of related, right?
Right. Through Tanjiro's random flashbacks. You're gonna bring this up again? Probably not. All right. Well, anyway, moving right along.
No, because here's the final arc where everybody dies.
Hey, man! Spoiler alert, bro! The movie drops in July. Relax. Take it easy. They
already know.
Take it easy, bro. We've had such a negative episode.
The last man standing.
For real.
The last man standing said he's about to retire with his 3 wives.
Take it easy. Take it easy. Take it easy. All right. But ladies and gentlemen, that has been the Press Start Select Depressed podcast. Thank you once again for tuning in to us. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment. Your feedback helps make this show better. And, we're only looking to improve moving forward. So until next time, I am Antonius the Gamer, Mikkel Smith, Super SSS rank. Till next time, guys. Peace.